How wonderful. Here I am, boys and girls, all by myself. Wow. I kind of feel a bit like Chris Furlong, actually, because he said that, he didn't have very many people for his very first live. So, how do I get my people to come back to me? Boys and girls, you all need to come back to Granny. Ah, John, you found me. I was wondering when someone would find me. I was sitting here all by myself for a few minutes. Oh, it wasn't me. Well, yes, okay. Phew, I know. That was a bit scary, wasn't it? I thought you were all, tricking me, was what I thought. But you were not. But anyway, I'm glad that you people have found me because I had, there was 29 people watching, and then all of a sudden I started the live stream again with no one. So that was a bit of fun. Bit of fun indeed. Wow, games, I am back. Yes, some people are probably wishing that I wasn't, but yes, I am back. So is anyone having a little tipple tonight, seeing as it's, after 5 o'clock? So do tell me what you are having a little tipple of. Personally, myself, I'm just having a little spot of spiced rum in under the guise of the old Captain Morgan. And this is the joys of living in the bush, people. So I went to buy a bottle, which I normally would buy, I think it's like a 700ml bottle, because that lasts a while. And it's a lot better value, of course. And yeah, none in stock. And so I had to buy this little bottle, which was pretty much twice the price per litre. So that was a bit sad, but anyway, them's the breaks. Oh yes, John is probably trying to tune in and can't find me. So it's time to take a mutiny, and while it's not here and watching, we can, make a mutiny, and we will steal his live stream for good. You're having a coffee. Oh, John Roberts, what were you having? A decaf. Decaf. That's like, I don't. Well, here's something for you that you won't know about me yet. I don't think I've said it before. Grumpy Granny has never, ever, ever had a drink of coffee in her life. Yes, indeed. Never, ever, 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 ever. So there. So don't ask me to go out for a coffee because I'll be saying no. I didn't used to go out for coffee as such often. I mean, not that there's many places in Donald to go out for coffee, but I didn't do that sort of thing often either because I always thought, like, if you drank coffee and you could go out and you could have your latte or your cappuccino, it was kind of worth it because there was a bit of effort they had to go into making it. But I drink tea, and honestly, who wants to go and pay $4 or $5 or whatever it costs now these days to have someone put a tea bag in a pot of hot water and then bring it over to the table and you pour it yourself? Where's the value? You pour the thing yourself even. So where is the value? None. You stop drinking when you're 18. That's when you're supposed to start. That's when you're supposed to start. Yes, well, we lost half the viewers when I froze because we're down to 10. But anyway, I'm quite happy with that. That's still very good. Oh, they're probably all listing is probably what's happening. They're all working very hard and listing. So they haven't actually realised that I'm not there. They're probably just looking. They probably think I deliberately froze the screen during the listing time. Maybe. Oh, that's what I reckon. They probably think I did that. But yeah, no, I didn't. But I do have a little treat for later. Well, I've got a couple of things, but here is something for you. If you're ever out and about in the supermarket and you see these Cookers Country Cookies, has anyone ever had these before? Let me know in the chat. Or is there anyone still there because no one's answering or commenting? So has anybody ever had Cookers before? No? Well, boys and girls, exciting stuff. Oh, you love them, Dingo. Woohoo! Well, no. I'll show you what they're like in a sec. But these little numbers, yes, they are. Exactly, Mel, they are. These little beauties are made right here in good old Donald. Didn't know that, did you? But they are. It says manufacturing plant, lot 4, Sunraysia Highway, Donald. There you go. I bet you've never looked on the back to see what the manufacturing plant of a box of biscuits are, but worth it. So they make all different ones. I'll just make the noise so I can get them out. And they do rectangle ones and round ones. It looks a bit like a donut, doesn't it, really? And they do make different flavoured ones and different types. But these are my favourite, and these are lemon ones. So they're lemon cookies, and they've got like a, yeah, you can't get them apart, but like a lemon jam in them. These ones. So there you go. But you can get them at Coles, apparently. So that's very good to know. But they're very delish. And when you're eating one next time, you'll be able to think of Grumpy Granny because you'll know that they're right here. And Grumpy Granny actually especially went out and bought that packet for you to show you the packet, because normally what I do is I go up to the factory and you can actually buy broken biscuits up at the factory for quite cheap, like a big box for like $5. And that's pretty handy when the grandkids come, because they don't mind eating the broken biscuits. So, yes. So just remember, Cookers Country Cookies, and have a try of them next time. You'll be never heard of them. Or is that never rid of them? No? Oh, crumbs. Oh, crumbs indeed. Mm-hmm. But you will often find them when you do go and stay at a motel, if you're ever in a motel, for the right reasons, I hope, boys and girls. But they will often have them in those little 2-packet ones. They do make a lot of those. Hi, Liz. Glad you found me after I got frozen and sent off to the dim, dark recesses of the Bermuda Triangle and came back again. Good to see you. So I would like you boys and girls, though, you do have to let me know if you do want me to stop talking so that, you know, so that you can concentrate on your listing. I'm more than happy to stop talking for a short period of time. Oh, good, Sandra. Nice of you to pop back in. Sandra and I like a little bit of vintage science fiction. We do. I am. Yeah. Well, it's a bit hard to be the octopus's next hostage when I'm actually the octopus. Did you know? I have been asked if I am actually the octopus. And look, I'll have to admit, it is me. I am the octopus. And I do it through the magic of film editing. I'm so clever. I film Octo. Well, I don't have to film Octo. I just do the voice, because all Octo is the head going, occasional wave of the tentacle, boys and girls. And then I just do the interacting part with it and put it all together and edit it out, and that's what you get. What would the disgruntled octopus say? Talk or stop talking? Oh, God, he would have told me to stop talking an hour ago before I even started, John Roberts. You know that. So just as well he hasn't found me again since we got frozen and left. But I will definitely, if I ever do another one, I will definitely use StreamYard because I think it might be a little bit more stable and it has got some other features which will make it a little bit easier for me to interact with you guys. Because I still would like to know. He would put me in the green room and I wouldn't get out of the green room. He would. Well, I have to say we had a really good podcast recording today too. So we are having a special guest on the show, which you'll get to see on Tuesday, and lips are sealed. I'm not telling you about. I'll leave that to His Highness, the Octopus, to tell you if he so chooses. But yeah, quite a good chat. And I think you will all enjoy it. So what do you think, boys and girls? Those of you that have actually watched the podcast from this week, which came out Tuesday, so I would hope that you've all watched it. Do you think that it went for too long? Grumpy Granny's not listing anything tonight, Sandra, because I was just a little bit nervous about doing this whole thing and keeping up with the chat, and I just thought, look, what the heck? Oh, Adam, where have you been hiding all this time? Seriously, young man. Seriously. And look, I would go and get the link for it, but I'm too worried if I leave the stream to do it, leave the screen to do it, I will freeze again. So I just think it's better that I don't. Yes. The Disgruntled Octopus and I have a podcast, Adam, and every week we release an episode at 8:08 a.m. on Tuesdays. And we do a live stream on Thursday morning, which is, Adam, it's a listing live stream. You could come along. Well, it's an accountability and listing live stream. You could come along and tell us your goals for the week and do some listing. How about that? That would be good, Adam. I should expect you to see you there. Well, Wendy, I'm going to make you a little moderator there, and you can, like, have a spanner on me. So that means you have to keep an eye on the chat and kick anyone out that misbehaves. So, Gigi, what items do you enjoy selling? Oh, okay. What items do I enjoy selling? So I guess my favorite thing that I enjoy selling are books. And when I say books, I love selling vintage books or antique books. That's my favoriteest thing in the whole wide world. And I love finding old books that are probably going to get sent to landfill in a very short, in their lifespan. They're at the end of their lifespan and people don't want them anymore. And a lot of the op shops now won't put anything that's got an even slightly yellow page in there. And those books have still got a lot of life left in them and can still be read and admired. And so I like to get those books and I like to save them and send them all over the world. So that's great fun. The second thing I like to list is vintage vinyl. Well, I shouldn't say they're vintage because they're all going to be vintage, but not the new ones. Vintage vinyl records, because, boys and girls, the best part about doing that is you have to test it. Well, you don't have to, but I do. I like to test my vinyl records before I sell them, which means I get to listen to them, which is loads of fun until I come across a Kamal record or something like that. But yes, it means I get to. I have a very eclectic taste in music anyway. But it's lots of fun listening to all that stuff that I used to listen to in my younger days. So that's good fun. And there's nothing like a record. Records sound different to digital music. Yeah, you should have sent me the autograph, Jamie Redfern. Indeed, indeed. Actually, I have got a few Young Talent Time records here somewhere in my pile that I haven't gotten to yet. Do you ever get concerned about the possible arsenic in the really old books? No. Hey, look, if the arsenic in the really old books was going to kill me, I'd be dead already. That's all I can say. Cassette. Oh, you've been listening to cassette tapes. Wow. I still remember getting my first ever cassette tape player for Christmas one year. Yes, there is a story in that, but anyway, I'll save that for a bit later. Then, do you know what my third favourite thing to sell is? So I've told you my first two. So my third favourite thing that I like to sell are jeans and denim skirts. I can't split those. Denim, anything denim. So I like selling denim skirts, denim shorts, denim jeans, denim shirts. Love denim. It's wonderful. Listed the first lot on Tuesday night and sold them the next day. 6 compilations from the 1980s. Well done, John. Fantastic. That's great. That's great. That is really good. Really good. That's really cool. Vintage records and books. I'm surprised that op shops don't have books with a bit of yellow on them. Well, I was actually surprised. I mean, look, some of the independent op shops will have them. But if you go to the Salvos or you go to the Vinnies or any of those ones in the chains, and look, you will not find a yellow book with any yellow pages anywhere. And I actually asked in Mildura, I asked the lady at the shop and I said to her, what are you doing? Because I figured, well, maybe I could, sort out a deal because they must be getting them. They must be getting lots of old books. Where are they? And yeah, when I asked how I could get my hands on them, she said, we've dumped them all in the skip out the back because we're not allowed to sell them. And their policy is from their managers, their policy is totally not supervising right now. Their policy is that they can't give them away either. And I just find that so sad that all of those books are just getting tossed. And yeah, very, very sad. John, though, John, I was trying to ask you earlier, but you seem to have vanished before I froze. Hi, Paul. Can you tell me, because I should have used StreamYard and I used YouTube Studio, but can you tell me how I get the text across the, the comments that people are making on the bottom of the screen? Stop packing the post and tell me how I can get the comments across the bottom of the screen. Oh, okay. All right, so there you go, boys and girls. I can't do that tonight. I've learnt my lesson. Yeah, look, I'd set it all up and sent out the link before I actually thought, oh, my God, I should have I didn't set it up right. So I should have asked more questions. But anyway, every mistake, here's your saying. Here's my little teaching, my little lesson for the day, seeing as I was asked that earlier. My lesson for the day is, from every mistake, a lesson is learned. So I want you to remember that. Yes, I could write it on paper and put it on the screen. Very funny. So I want you all to write that down, boys and girls, so you remember it. From every mistake, a lesson is learned. There you go. That's my little bit of wisdom for the day. That's why I only had 2 kids. What's that? That's terrible. They can't sell them in history. Oh, absolutely, Liz. Yeah. And, obviously the person I spoke to wasn't a manager. And I live a long way from Mildura, so I haven't actually been able to speak to the manager as such, because I was going to find out whether there was a way around it or not. And I will be finding out when I go and see another shop. But then, yeah, I did get a couple of older books at the Salvos in Bendigo on Monday. And yeah, so look, it really floors me with the prices that they sell stuff at, with books and stuff. Now, the Salvos store that I went to, yes, I am. I am back, Rob. Thank you very much. The Salvos store that I went to, normally their books are a little bit expensive for me. I mean, I might be able to pick up the odd one that's not, but they would usually on a, say, a 1950s hardcover with a dust jacket, they might be selling it for $12, which, look, unless I happen to comp it in the store and discover that it's worth $50 or $60, I'm not going to pay $12 for it. But blow me down, they had reduced their prices on their books, and they were actually having a buy one, get one free sale because they had too many books. Like, honestly, the op shops like that need to get a grip, because why have a big sale like that with a buy one, get one free? Just sell the books at half the price normally, and you'll have a bigger turnover and more people. You'll finish up selling a lot more if they're at a reasonable price, I say. I do indeed. So what other questions can I answer for you, boys and girls? And obviously I would think, the timer has... Hang on.
Quick, grab those 501 Leos!
So, yes. So that is the ringtone, boys and girls. And there are a couple of others that I will play for you over the night. And they'll be available on iTunes very soon. That's funny. Okay, let's have a look. My sister bought a very old house and found some books in the bottom of a cupboard. They're in bad shape. What books were they? Tell me, John. Tell me. Come on, tell me, John. That's kind of like the Salvos here. They're inundated with stock. They have a back for tears. I know. Let's have a bag sale because we've got too much stock. Meanwhile, if they had been selling the stuff for, $2 or $3 a piece. So the last time I bought stuff at a bag sale, each item I bought worked out to be 33 cents an item. 33 cents an item. Now, they could charge, Mills and Boon, of course, they could charge $1 or $2 a book, like, say, $1 on the paperbacks. No. Charge $1 or $2 for the clothing. They would sell volumes and make more money. Yeah, non-fiction, of course. Yep. So there is, if anyone's ever traveling to Mildura, there is one place to go. Now, I shouldn't tell because that's my little honey hole, but I will tell because I'm just like that. Do you get many glitches on eBay in Australia? Oh, don't talk to me about glitches. I'll tell you that story in a minute, Chris. Yes, we do get lots of glitches, and I'm having a big fat glitch at the moment with eBay, which I'll explain in a minute. But we'll go back to the Salvos first. So it's not halfway, probably 3/4 of the way to Mildura, there is a town called Ogun, which is kind of like your last good spot to get petrol and fuel or whatever. And there is a Salvos store there, and they sell all their books. All their adult books are $1. All their kids' books are $5 for $1, so 20 cents each. And every article of clothing in that store is $2, regardless of what it is. And so the FUBU jeans that I have sold that are going off to the UK tomorrow, that I sold for about $70, I paid $2 for. So it's a brilliant little store. So, yeah. So, Chris, seeing as you asked about glitches, so I'm having a big glitch on eBay at the moment. So I had an update come through that's affected my platform, but not seemingly anyone else's. And I know that it's an update because there are some things that have changed on my screen that other people don't see. I mean, that weren't like that before. And it's happened on both my laptop and my yes, true. And my Windows computer. So it's not the computer or that particular browser because it's happened on both computers. So it is the actual platform. So there are some visible differences on the main page when you're looking at a listing from a buyer point of view. And look, they're not bad things. However, when I go into ended listings so that I can look, another time has gone off, so that I can actually sell similar or fix those items up, all the buttons that are supposed to do all the stuff like where you press the button and go sell similar, or I can't delete the ended items, I can't sell similar, I can't, the only thing I can do, I can relist, but then I also can't delete them. So yeah, hating that, especially at the moment with the discounted listing fees. I could actually be, fixing quite a few of my listings up. And yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, and look, Chris, we quite often get where you'll go to click on something to go into another page on eBay and you'll get, oh, sorry, we can't find that. It's nice, isn't it? I wish they'd stop fiddling with it. Oh, you're going to edit some scheduled listings this morning. They all disappeared. Oh, I did scheduled listings. I do scheduled listings every Thursday. That's when mine go live. I schedule those during the week so that on Thursdays when I'm doing the live stream in the podcast and making a video for you guys, for Grumpy Granny's channel, so that, yeah, I don't have to worry about eBay. That will, yeah. But I won't mention anything because last time I looked, it's going to be a donut day for me if I don't get a sale in the next couple of hours. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't remember the last time I had a donut day. I really can't. Bloody annoying is all I can say. So I think all my sales have disappeared. Fiddling makes it better. Yeah. John Roberts, talking of buying half a store. So I'm very choosy with what I buy now. I have certain parameters that I must stick by so that I don't get too much of a death pile. Oh, Paul, now I am thinking I'm going to get a donut day. Oh, dear. If you're having a donut day, it's probably not going to be unusual for me to get a donut day. Oh, look, Wendy, I did 50 listings. How did you go? Just kidding. Books along with stuff. Did you do any? What was I saying before that? Now I got distracted because Paul said he was having a donut day. Oh. All right, let's have a look what we've got. Did anyone get any listings done in that 30? So tell us what listings you did get done. And we'll see if anyone did get much work done. Now, Adam, what are you asking me? Just a question, Gigi. Have you reached out to the boss of Salvos in regards to old books, as he seems to be against waste? Well, maybe that's what I need to do. Go to the boss hog of the whole entire place. Good to know. Good to know, Adam. Thank you for that. Maybe I'll see if I can find his email address or I might write him a letter. Do people do that anymore? Write letters? Yeah, that could be interesting. Yes. So I've got a question for you, boys and girls, which apparently I can do a thing here. Let's do this. I can start a poll. Let's do that. You use a SKU system. I want to know if who hasn't got a SKU system. So, yeah, I don't know. I presume that you guys can see that and you can vote on that. Oh, there we go. We're getting votes. Hurly-durly. Yeah, I'm just interested. I mean, I have 3 different SKU systems, in case anyone's wondering. Can I pick the middle? No, you may not. You either do or you don't. But you do, John. I know you have you have your little SKU system of like box under the bed. I know. So yes, I have 3 SKU systems. So because I store because of the different things I sell, which are stored in different ways, I can't have one SKU system across the board because it just wouldn't make sense. And things wouldn't be in chronological order like they should be. So my normal clothing, like blouses and all that sort of stuff, is hanging. So there is that clothing rack, and I made special tags to put on the coat hangers for that. And then my books have a different SKU system because of, well, I'd made a video on that, so you all would have seen the video on that, wouldn't you? And then my jeans and denim items, I put in these little bags and store them in these boxes behind me, and yeah, they have a number. So yeah, which, look, you do things, you learn by your mistakes, I suppose. Well, not so much mistakes. So I started off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, 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 so on. And then if I used number 1, I would replace number 1. So it wasn't a true indication of what was my older stock because I was putting another newer pair back in as number 1. But I have stopped that now. So yes, I don't have number 1. So I'll just keep going forward from where I'm up to. Yes. I need to catch up with listings, but have had an annoying, painful, itchy rash pop up on my right hand today. Annoying to type. Oh, that's no good. That's no good. So Wendy, I decided that I was going to be a little bit I love my denim jeans, and I love finding vintage ones especially and selling them, and I like the customers to get them in nice condition. So I actually put my jeans and denim items, rather than put them in a vinyl satchel, which I know is a lot cheaper, I actually put them in a bubble mailer. And that has 2 advantages for me. It has the advantage of great customer service. So the person on the other end gets this beautiful, nice, flat bubble mailer with this nicely folded pair of jeans inside and a little thank you card. And then it also doubles up on that I'm less limited in the variety of mailing supplies that I have to buy and store. And yes, I know vinyl satchels don't take up much room, but it's bloody annoying because I'm so used to reaching down here to get the big satchel, like the smaller size satchel out, and I've worked a way of folding the jeans, no matter how big they are, in such a way that they fit very nicely into the small size. So that works well. And so I've actually just upped my mail charge for my small items because I include the cost of the bubble mailer in my postage cost. But at the same time, I'm only charging for the small size satchel rather than the medium size, which most people charge for jeans. So in actual fact, it's cheaper for the customer, even though I'm charging them for the bubble mailer. How many people send printed coupons with their orders? I don't. I've thought of it a few times, but I don't. And if I still have, let me look behind me and see. see. Because I did have, but maybe I shifted them earlier. I must have shifted them earlier. I did have my thank you cards here because I'm actually making a video, currently doing a video on how to make thank you cards. So I did have some sitting here, but I must have shifted them. I actually put my QR code for my store on my thank you card, but I had considered actually taking that off and putting the QR code for a coupon. But then I'd have to put all extra wording on the thank you card to say what it was for, that it wasn't just to get to my store. Retro Ranger only has a clothing SKU. My books, DVDs, video games, etc. are just sort of categorized on bookshelves, etc. And I know where they are. Retro Ranger! How many items have you got listed? Mate, you need to get a SKU system going now. Because, yeah, you'll get to a point where you won't know where they all are, and then you won't be able to find a particular thing. And, yeah, no. You need a SKU system. Need a SKU system. The padded bags are a little bigger. Well, they are and they aren't, because the vinyl satchels are a little longer, but the padded bags are a little wider. So the padded bags actually work. They fit like you struggle fitting the jeans in the smaller size vinyl satchel, but they fit quite well into the smaller size padded mailer, if that makes sense. John, you would actually watch me fold clothes into what size mailer? Crikey. I have done some packing videos in my earlier YouTube career. You could go back and watch if you wanted to. Not probably of me folding many clothes, not like I do now anyway. Yes, you have been told, Retro Ranger. I had another video game seller drop ship off me, so I sent one of my printed coupons to his customer. Yeah, good. 1,500 listings. My man, get yourself a SKU system. Look, if nothing else, right? If you've got shelving, name each set of shelves A, B, C, and then the top shelf's A1, next shelf's A2. Have you actually watched my SKU video? We should have. A3, right? If nothing else, at least put on your listing in the custom SKU box which shelf it's on, because the time's going to come and you're going to not be able to find something. I will guarantee it. Because as careful as I was, it happened to me. And I said, never again. So, yes. And I will say, talking of folding clothes, John Roberts. Oh, gosh. I seem to be on a bit of a bump here. Oh, thank you, Beck. Thank you. You've been listening the whole time, even before it froze. Thank you. Oh, that makes me feel good. Yes, that's true. You will be getting to those clothes. Yes, and we know we're not going to just shove them in a bag and post them. No. The best way to get return customers is to give them a good customer experience. And my idea of that is I like to send everything to my customers. I always imagine, how would I like that to be sent to me if I'd bought that and paid good money for that item? So that's how I work out how I'm going to send things. But I will give you one little tip. And this is just my little bit of granny wisdom, I suppose. When I bag my jeans and things, I don't just... Good night, Dingo. Thanks for coming along. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'll see you next Wednesday. I really do appreciate that Dingo came along and supported me, because, you know, he was just here to support me, and that was really nice. So when I put my jeans, my denim items in the bags, store them for their SKUs, they are already folded as they will be to fit in that bubble mailer. So they're already done in the perfect size to fit in the bubble mailer. And then this one hasn't had the air puffed out of it very well, but generally, see if I can get it to do it. I give it a little bit of an old squish down. You see, and it acts a little bit like a bit of a suction, as if you've suctioned the stuff out of them. And yeah, helps with storage. But it makes it a lot easier when you are shipping because you don't have to take it out and refold it. You can take it straight out of those bags because they're dust-free in there. They're not gathering any pet hair or dust or, you know, anything that they shouldn't in there. So they're quite good. And you take them. You can just take them straight out and just slide them on in that bubble mailer. Slip in your little thank you card, and off they go to their new owners, which is just a really good feeling, I think. Yeah, for me it is. Like, yeah, well, look, whether that's an age thing, don't get me wrong, I appreciate making money. Oh, now that was very nice. Well, no, it depends on how much money they spent. Honestly, I have done the whole tissue. I haven't sent stuff. I would send stuff in a box if I had something that was worth that much money. Yes, I would have sent that in a box. Well done, John. Yeah, but I have done, you know, on a $70 or $80 jacket, if I felt that it needed it because of the value of it, I have put tissue paper in the layers. Yes, indeed. And look, quite often with jackets in particular, because you don't want them getting all scrunched up in a vinyl satchel, I will often put those in a bigger size bubble mailer than they actually need to be. So, yes, I could fit them in a medium size if I really wanted to, but I will put them in a large because I think that's much better for the customer and they will appreciate getting that as opposed to getting something that is all scrunched up and, yeah. You know, like, you hearing this, Retro Ranger? Lifestyle reseller, hello, hello, hello. Good night, John. Thank you for coming in and keeping an eye on things. You see, I didn't make you a moderator. If you haven't yet, did a long dive video today. Can you hear your thoughts and comments? Oh, very good. Okay, John, I shall check it out. We shall see. Depends on how long I last here tonight, I suppose. Yeah, give him a time out. Go on, give him a time out. I dare you. Liz says, I definitely agree with getting a SKU sorted ASAP. I didn't have one, then saw the book SKU video. Was told to get one going ASAP. Yes. Yes, 700 books. Yes. All you did you? Wait a few more weeks. Tisk. Now I have close to 1,000 to sort, plus the unlisted. Yes. Yeah, because it gets to a point where it's such a big job. Like I did get someone in to help me to start with because it becomes just such a big job. Yeah, if you don't start getting them skewed, like I'd tell anyone, you know, start skewing right from the start. Don't wait because, yeah, you think you're going along and you know where every book is. You know where every book is. And I had this tiny little book. It was only about this wide, and I stupidly put it on the top of a stack of books that were on the shelf. And of course, what happened was when I went to take one of the lower books out, I tipped the books up, grabbed that book and pulled it out. And of course, when I tipped the books up, the little one slid down between the two towers of books. And then when it came, it wasn't where it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be in that front row on, you know, I knew it was there and I couldn't find it. And yeah, 3 days later, yep. You don't feel so bad. Should. I use daily refinement SKU system up to wow, 5130. Wow. Clothing, I presume, lifestyle reseller? Yes. Yeah, I guess that's the same SKU system I use for my jeans here. Tom came into the chat and gave me a few tips plus what Granny uses. Yes. Yep. So I guess that's the same system I use for clothes here. I think the only I'm not quite sure. I guess I haven't taken quite enough notice with Chris Lynn's SKU system, whether he does his forwards or backwards. I know a couple of other people that put their new stuff at the back of the box. I actually do mine in reverse. So the newest things are in this box here. So they're in reverse. So it's 232, 231, 230. Because that way I don't actually have to take the whole. If you had one long box, you'd have to take the whole box out to put them in the back. Or I actually have two boxes. So if anyone hasn't seen this before, instead of having one long box, I have two boxes. And that is for my own benefit with my back because I can't lift heavy stuff. Yeah. I have it. I only have to pull out one box at a time, which, yeah, is very good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to use a system like that. And that's why I have all my other stuff is hanging. So, yeah. Oh, Sam. There you go. No idea. I skew everything in this system, mostly clothes, but some other random things. Okay. Oh. Yeah, that's interesting because I don't know how I guess because I've got the three distinct SKU systems, I wouldn't be able to put the random, I wouldn't be able to have one SKU system across the store, I don't think, because of the sort of three things. Yeah. So all my bundle of books that are not unique have a number. Oh, good. I am back. Where have you been, Captain Opshop Nerd? Tech Sports and Chris only add new items to new boxes and then move all previous items backwards to free up the space. I see. Said the blind man who couldn't see at all. That's a very old saying. Liz, I've lost so many, but luckily found them, but recently moved into a storage unit, and there's been Jody Grace. You in the SKU system. Yes. SKU, hell yes. Here's one of my SKUs I made just now. Look, why does that not surprise me, Toby? That does not surprise me one little bit. Yes. Oh, God love him. How technical is that? AH, semicolon, 220823, which is the date. And I'm going to say, perhaps his cost of goods was 28 cents, maybe? I don't know. Or $5.58. DVDs and DAD. They don't use box numbers? Yes, no, I don't use box numbers either. I just put the newest thing at the front. And away we go. Captain Opshop Nerd, I've been live channel hopping with my regs. Yeah, I've been doing a bit of live channel hopping too, and I'm running it. Apparently I froze and, all hell broke loose. And I thought everyone was teasing me, saying that they couldn't hear me or see me or, anyway. You live and learn. But I will be going to StreamYard next time, if I ever do another one. We will see. How do you put the labels on the books? Are they in bags? Yes, John. How do you put the labels on the books? young man. My head is skewed. John, what type of printer did you get? Yes, John, do tell. Jody Grace, I use shrink wrap. Yes, and I do too. Yes. Have I got one nearby? There's usually one or two lying around, but they're on my other desk. Yeah, so they're just a little mini rolls of shrink wrap. Best thing if you're doing book bundles and you... Hey, Vaya, I skew the shelf or the cupboard, but not the individual items. Interesting. I do that with my books, but everything else has a separate skew number. Yep. I use cling wrap too. I have a lot of unique books. Yes, me too. Me too. But that's great, isn't it? Because unique books, we love unique books. Love them, love them, love them. Oh, yes, I picked up a couple of nice science fiction ones on Monday. A couple of Brian Lumley's, who wrote Necroscope, a bit of vintage horror there. So, yeah, they'll be good. And a Gene Wolfe, which will be really good. Books along with stuff. I skew the shelving. It's much easier. Well, yeah, books along with stuff. Yes, Adam, we do use a shelf skew, not a individual book skew when you're doing the individual books. Because, yeah, that's way too hard. So tell me, Adam, do you just skew, like, so are all the books on your A4 shelf, have they all got the same number? Or do you shelf and the row and the front and the back? How do you do that? Because, you know, one would hope that you watch my book skew video and you would be doing that. Yes. Yes, I guess things go around in cycles, Sam, like with, yeah. The podcast thing probably surprises me that, like, because, yeah, Octo and I are sort of the only ones that are doing that sort of thing. Well, like, yeah. I mean, even if it was just a normal reseller podcast, I suppose it would still be unique. There wouldn't be very many people that would be doing that, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. And John is saying his printer is a Brother GL 700, 62mm wide. This is only for any office labels, not my eBay labels. Jody says, I'm going to start putting my toys in bags and labeling them. Currently, they are all in tubs. I don't normally have trouble finding them, though. Yes, I will want to put them in separate bags, I think. Yeah, isn't it, Sam? A lot of info. Oh, Toby loves a spreadsheet. That man does. Just bought a Dymo label now, so I'm professional. It came with smaller labels, but I'm going to print out numbers. So your Dymo label, is that one that you got to do your mailing labels with? And did you buy an older one or the newer one? Adam, I skew per shelf, so every book that's on the shelf has the same skew. Right. Okay, so I kind of do a similar thing, but I then skew in rows. So if this is shelf A2, then there are row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I also skew front and back and middle if it's a wider shelf. So it'll be A1 dot 2 B, which is row 2 on shelf A1 at the back. Because then I don't have to look through all of those books. I can just go straight to that row. And if it's at the back, I don't even have to look through the front ones. I can just pull the front ones off, grab the book from the back. So, yep, that's my little system. Toby says all automated though, and when it sells, I use Excel formula to extrapolate, oh, big words, Toby, into other columns to report against. Wow. He is a nerd, isn't he? Still trying to convince my brother he doesn't need a spreadsheet for his inventory. What do we owe the treat of a live chat? Well, Vaya. So my friend John, the reseller, normally does a Thursday night listing live stream. We're actually not supposed to be chatting so much. We're supposed to be doing 30 minutes of listing, followed by 10 minutes of chatting. But it just seems to have turned into a big chat fest. Anyway, he is not doing his listing live stream tonight because he's going on a loved up date with his good lady wife tomorrow. And he wants to go to bed early tonight. So he's all, rested up for tomorrow. And so I said, well, no, I didn't say. Did I? Matilda, where are you? Matilda was the one that started it. Where is she? Yes. Matilda and some of John's other viewers decided that it would be a good idea for Grumpy Granny to take over. And so here I am. And this is my very first live stream. I've not done one before. Well, I've been on someone else's live stream, but I've not actually run a live stream myself. So there you go. Jody Grace, I print a normal large Dymo label with, it's gone up too far. Okay, I don't need a spreadsheet to track inventory. Captain Upshop, we need a tutorial on what you do. No! Jody Grace, get a cat. Oh dear, Jody Grace, I've almost lost them before, and the end of the second day, I have found the book after spending hours searching for one book, not fun. It is, Liz. You know it, and I know it. It's horrific, absolutely horrific. And generally, I think once most people that happens to them once, they will never do that again. They go and get skewed straight away. I had one on my website for 6 months, but I took it down in the last 2 days. What was that, Captain Upshot Nerd? I missed that little thing. What did you take down? A cat. I have a dog. She's in my photo. She's very cute too, I must say. Oh, thank you, Bayer. That's very nice of you to say. Very nice. I have a whole bookshelf just for Mills and Boone. Good lad, good lad. And the skew is the whole shelf. RN001. Oh, romantic novel. How sweet. That's very nice, John. Very good. So, yes. The the Dino 4XL has gone through the roof in price. So I do hear, now, someone else might have the name of it, but there is an Australian one that is going around. I have seen ads for it on Instagram, and I know a couple of people that have bought it and say that it is quite good. Ozprint, I think, AUSPRINT, I think that is it, but don't 100% hold me to that because, yes, but I think that is the name of it, and I've heard good reports of it on it. So, yes. Oh, her name is Daisy. That's very sweet. Yes, I like that. Very good. Merch idea, T-shirt with Skew You. Yes, Paul. I love it. I love it. My daughter's got one of those new doodle-acky things that puts vinyl prints on shirts. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to make her make me a shirt that says Skew It. I love it. Or Skew You. Skew You. Yes, Skew You. It's going to say merch. That's so good. That is good. Well, we would, wouldn't we? Ozprint. There we go. Retro Ranger has got one. And yes, he says it's very good. Works well, but it's meant to be Bluetooth, but that function has never worked fine otherwise. Is that you? Oh, you have an Ozprint too that you got second hand. Well, maybe the first user buggered up the Bluetooth. Do you use it with Bluetooth, Retro Ranger? That would be the thing. I'm a Skew. Yeah, okay. It's the same style printer as a Rollo, yes. Real resellers skew everything. Yes. Oh, look. Yes. I just might be popping up with a shirt that says something like that very soon. I love it, love it, love it, love it. How good is that? Previous owner said she'd never used the Bluetooth. Oh, yeah. She'd probably never used it because it didn't work and she didn't do anything about it, I'm going to guess. Maybe. Maybe. I could be wrong. But yes, if anyone that is still at the point where you're sticking your address labels on with sticky tape, before you go and buy yourself a thermal printer, if you have a normal printer, go and buy some 4-up sticky labels. They're very cheap off eBay, and it's a really good intermediate step before you go and buy a thermal printer. All the ones mentioned use generic label. Yes, they do. That's right. Yeah. I was very lucky to get a good deal on a 4XL because I went to buy the 5XL and luckily looked at the reviews before I did when it first came out. And everyone was complaining about not being able to buy the generic labels. And, I find it strange that even after all this time since it's been out, I find it a bit strange. I would have thought by now they'd had enough backlash and people either trading theirs in and going back to the 4XL or, going away from the Dymo that, they might have actually done something about it because all they would have to do is a firmware update. It's not like, everyone would have to go and get a new printer. Let's see. So all the ones mentioned use generic labels. Yes. Adam asked, can you use those labels without paying for postage? Oh, Adam. Really? We won't be. No, you cannot. And, without paying for postage, you mean without doing it through AusPost? Is that what you mean? And you handwrite the labels or something? Yes, you can use them on anything. They are sticky. Mine is, I can't go and get mine because it's right out in my shipping room, which is right up the other end of the house. So, yeah. If you don't have sticky labels, I was going to contact to stick my labels on as people in my house are complaining about the noise of the sticky tape. Have you gone to sticky labels at least first? Yes, well, yeah. Yes. Although I'd probably be more destroyed if my Epson workforce that's about 20 years old went bung first because, that's a workhorse and a half. And it, I use that for my international labels. You have to be careful buying labels from Officeworks. They have 2 sizes. I nearly got the wrong one. Oh, dear. Yep. Liz, yes, I would think the same. They would have to have done something or even bought out a new model. Yeah, exactly, Liz. Like it's kind of floored me because I would have thought that the increase that they would get, my way of thinking is that the increase that they would get from selling more Dymo labels would nowhere near make up for the loss that they would be getting from people buying that next model. Because I had the money, I had the cash there and I was going to go and buy it, the 5XL, until, thank God, as I walked into the shop, I started looking up the reviews. That's incredible, 1,128. Geez, maybe I'll bloody sell mine and go and buy an Osprint one. I could sell mine for $1,000. Go and buy an Osprint one, I make bloody $800 cash. Wow. Oh, you're a professional now. You've got a Dymo. I see. Yeah, the Epson Workforce. It's an amazing printer. I have the A3 one, like it's the 7520 model, which is A3 size. It's a scanner and a printer and everything. And yeah, it takes A3 paper, which is fantastic. I handwrite my satchels and prefer to pay for postage at the post office. So if I can use a label instead of handwriting, that would be easier. Yes, you could. You can just set it up to print. Whoops. Nearly kick my heater over. Yes, you can set it up to just print labels normally without buying postage labels and just print them out on that and just whack them on your satchels. Yep. There's one on Gumtree for $200. Is it working? If it is, buy it now. I have a spare 4XL. I might flog it now. Yes, Paul. But then what happens if the one that you're using buggers up? You won't have a spare. We should always have a backup plan. Ozprint is awesome, and they are an Aussie company with great support and fast shipping. Haven't had any issues with mine. Vaya says, before I got my ink printer for international, I'd go to office work every time I needed a printout. Oh, yeah, that's no good. Captain Upshot Nerd says, find a 4XL somewhere. Otherwise, John has a good video out. Someone with a wrench can share. Yes, because I'm not going to go off this screen because I'm a bit worried that it might freeze again or something. What do you mean John has a good video out? No. Watch my video about what to do if you haven't got a thermal printer. Toby. Have your address printer and the backup is a roll of sticky tape. Yeah, no. Not ideal. I did that for too long. I couldn't believe it when I transitioned from cutting the labels, cutting up the bit of paper and putting sticky tape all the way around it, and I graduated to buying the 4-up sticky labels and printing them on my normal inkjet printer. I could not believe how much time it saved me. Like, I really could not. Everything else I was doing was the same. That was the only thing I'd changed. Yeah, I'm still peeling off the window thing on the plastic post bags. Oh, no. Yes. At least, look, if you're doing that, at least transition to get yourself one packet of the 4-up labels and give that a crack. Like, just give it a crack and see what you think. And then you'll soon know whether you want to graduate to a thermal printer. But I honestly waited quite a long time. Like, yeah, I didn't go and get one at all soon because I wanted to be sure I was at the point where I really I guess I still didn't really need one, but I wanted to be sure that, because that money could have gone into inventory to help grow my business. So it took me a long time to decide to buy, to buy my thermal printer. Retro Ranger, do you know how to clean yours? I only just saw the sticker that said to clean the roller. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've heard good things about it, Sam, so certainly worth checking out, I think. Handwrite and get a glue stick. Oh, no! Oh, dear. That's even worse than putting sticky tape around it. Just need to figure out how to automate signature on labels. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. It can be done, apparently. Paul will possibly tell us that it can be done. But at the moment, yeah, don't know. Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, look, on most of my labels, it's a squiggle. I do take time signing my thank you cards, however, and I need to start. No, I don't want to cut and paste a computer image of my signature on my thank you cards because I think it is a really nice thing to hand sign my thank you cards. So there you go. Paul says I can do it, so there you go. And Retoranga says, no, Vaya, haven't cleaned mine as yet. I'm sure there would be a YouTube video or something around. No doubt there would be. Well, yeah, Toby, I had a rubber stamp that I used to stamp that said thank you. And then I would sign in green pen. Because I like that. If you save as a PDF and use Image Magic, you can place a signature over the PDF and resave. I was going to nerd it together. You're going to nerd it together, but I haven't yet. Yeah, is that not? See, that's the thing. I would find that too time consuming. I'd find that more time consuming than going. Yeah. Yes, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. boys and girls. That'd be very nice. Thank you. I've talked for a long time, and I've been talking all day because we did the live stream. And then luckily this wasn't last week, or I would have no voice left now because, yes. So how many of you picked up on the faux pas that I made during last week's live stream? Not the one today, the one last week. How many people watched that and picked up the big, word fumble that Grumpy Granny had? Because it was a ripper. I've given up putting the timer on, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. Do you hand make your thank you cards? Yes, I do. I do. Well, look, I have it all set up. It's in the computer, and I just print them out. And I used to put a stamp that said thank you on them, so they looked handmade. But as my stores grow, and that also became too time-consuming, so I changed that and instead wrote thank you in a nice font that doesn't look handmade, unfortunately. But I do still sign it. Regards, Leanne. I do still sign each one because I think that's nice. And they're just simple. They're on a brown card and black print. And yeah, they have my QR code on it, and they say something along the lines of, I hope this parcel makes your day as much as your sale made mine. And yeah, I'd love it if you gave me some positive feedback. Yeah, regards, Leanne. Pretty simple. And it includes the QR code for my store. So, where are we? Adobe Pro DC probably has template abilities to auto add to PDFs, maybe. Yeah, probably does. That's it, Sam. No probs. Yeah. Paul, it's the people that print many dozens or hundreds a day, although they probably don't use My Post Business. That's very true. Probably if they're doing that much bulk, they're probably using eParcel. Yeah. It's just us, little guys. I need to know the faux pas. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe not. What time is it? 11:03. Yes, I may tell you that little story in a little while. So what would anyone else like to know? Ask me anything. Ask me about something about eBay, or ask me something about my personal life. I will be happy to share if I can. I just throw a business card in with a QR code, 30% off coupon on it, no personal touch, LOL. They probably appreciate the 30% off coupon. I've considered a few times taking my QR code off and swapping it over for a coupon code, but then I feel like I would have to include some text to say, here's a coupon that you can use. Yeah, and I like my card, my thank you card, because I like it because it's simple. Hi, Janelle. Thank you for popping in. I use both eParcel and My Post, but use a shipping integrator to find the best price from both. Wow. Be a while before Granny needs a shipping integrator, I think. Wow, Janelle, I'm impressed. Question, is cost plus shipping worth it to forego eBay plus eligibility? Oh, bloody oath it is. What do you get out of eBay plus eligibility? Anything? Anybody get any benefits, great benefits from being in eBay plus eligibility? Yeah. No. Look, that being said, I haven't done it. But because that's just additional money you're paying. My coupon code is QR, yes, and I say, here's 30% off. Can then track who is buying because of the business card. Very true, very true. Helps with the algorithm. Rob H says, getting more money for express post upgrades. You are getting more money for Express Post up. Oh, you get more money for Express Post upgrades because. Right. Okay. How are you getting more money for Express Post upgrades? Do tell me, Rob. Because I looked at it and thought that I couldn't see how it would be a financial benefit to me. But I could be wrong. Helps with the algorithm. Yes, well, of course it does. Everything helps with the algorithm that's going to cost us more money. But when will we stop spending more money to try and get the algorithm again? Because it just went flat. I was gone again. So can someone tell me, am I frozen? Tell me, am I frozen? No? Yes? No? No. No one's still frozen, so I must still be here. I'll sing the Balls of O'Leary. The balls of O'Leary are wrinkled and hairy. Oh, good. Okay. I won't keep going now. So I don't need to keep singing, in other words. Funny how when I started to sing was when you all replied to me and said, no, you're back. Yes. Funny, isn't it? Yes. Well, I would have missed a fair bit of the chat. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, whether that's, because the internet doesn't seem to be, I don't think it's the internet. I think it's this YouTube studio thingy-jiggy, which is probably why everyone uses StreamYard, which I will do next time. That would be a way to get a cricket. So, Jodie Grace, do you call it a cricket or a cry cut? My daughter and I have argued with this a long time. Apparently it's a cricket. I thought it was a cry cut, but she says it's a cricket machine, which I'd love to craft and claim it in the business. Yes. I think the cricket machine is a very clever little machine. My daughter has one. And that's why I said she also has the hip pressy thing. So she'll be able to make me a shirt that says, "Skew you." I think that'll be good. I'm looking forward to Gigi's freestyle diss rap about eBay Plus. Yeah. My lyricist isn't here, Brendan. I'm sorry, I would like to, but yeah, my lyricist is not here right now. Oh, Peter, help! It's cricket, but I say cry cut. Yeah, see, I would pronounce it cry cut. Yeah. It's spelled cry cut, but Americans say cricket. It's a cricket. Yeah, see? The old logo was a little cricket. Oh, was it now? Okay. I see. Oh, sorry, Brendan. Oh, dear. Yeah. Yeah. I had a bit of, yeah. My friend Peter Van Winden is the person that wrote the lyrics for my little rap song that I did, because Grumpy Granny really had no idea even where to start. So I was originally going to do a version of, I can't remember the rap artist's name that does that thrift shop song. So that was what I was originally going to do for my rap song, and I was just going to alter the lyrics for me, because being thrift shop, I thought that song would suit. And yeah, and then I was going to do a version of Afro Man's I Got High to start with. That was my first choice, actually. And when is the ringtone coming out? Oh, as soon as I can work out how to do it, Jodie Grace. The ringtones. Oh, I'll play you another one. There are a few versions, let me tell you. So, let me show you. Okay, so here is the second version of the ringtone.
Quick grab those 501 Levi's.
So that one is just the bolo and grab the 501 Levi's. Then this is the next version.
Yo, yo, yo! I'm Granny the eBay queen.
Yep, so that's the second one. Macklemore, that's it. That's it. So that is the second one. And then oh, hang on.
Yo, yo, yo!
So that's another version. So yeah, I have a few versions of ringtones. Just to give people a bit of variety, because, you know, I figured that someone might want to have the bolo as their alert for a timer. And then you might want a different one for your calendar alert. And then you might want, yeah, the longer version as your ringtone. See? There you go. How about that? Janelle, did you know you have a patchwork shop? Yes, I do. And there's a bit of a story there too, because Grumpy Granny used to be, well, I didn't own, yeah, I guess I did own a patchwork shop. No, I owned about I owned a tenth of a patchwork shop. So when our local drapery closed down, a lot of us that sewed here were heartbroken. So we all put in and we took over the shop and started running it for a while. And, you know, the usual thing, too many cooks spoil the broth. Yep. So I got out quick smart before they all, got it, started murdering each other. First murder in Donald in 60 years. No, just kidding. There wasn't a murder. Need a techno version remix. Oh, bolo for when we have a ka-ching, we could sell it to we could. Yes. Well, I'm kind of a bit disappointed, really, because I sort of was hoping that eBay might have approached me by now. Yeah, death by patchwork, exactly, my love, exactly. I was kind of hoping by now that eBay might have reached out to ask me to, you know, like appear on one of their ads with my rap video or my rap song, or I thought they might have wanted me to appear live at one of their events, but, you know, they haven't, so apparently they don't. I did see a lovely quilt was hanging on some of it. Yes, it was. It was. But, yeah, it's not very far away. It's just over there. So all the coloured fabrics in that were hand-dyed, Janelle. So we used the fabric dye, but we painted a lot of them. I hand-painted a lot of them. And some are dipped and, to make that one. That was actually made that when we were in the patchwork shop, because the girl, a friend and I, who we actually ran the patchwork section of the shop, because, you know, we had normal dress fabrics and all the other things you get at haberdashery and drapery. And we were the patchwork sections. And, we used to run classes on different things. Such fun. Oh, they haven't had any events. Oh, that's why they haven't reached out. Well, don't feel so bad now. Just kidding. Yes. All good fun. It was. I did enjoy it. Oh, you did a class tonight. So what did you do, Janelle? I used to go to ones with somebody's sewing centre in Lansfield. It was fun. Yes. Oh, look, I used to travel all over. Well, do you want to know a story about patchwork classes? Here's a story for you. Don't go to patchwork classes out of your own town where you have to stay overnight and leave your husband at home. Okay, there's my little bit of advice as we get very close to, Oh, it is 11:15. So my 11:15 piece of advice for ladies that are married or have partners who love patchwork and like to go to classes where you don't have to go away and stay overnight, leaving your husband at home. And do you want to know why, boys and girls? Well, you tell me if you want to know why, and I will tell you. Okay, what did you do before you became famous? Is that for Janelle or is that for me? Yes, well, if you're talking to me, before I became famous, I was just very simply a little eBay seller since February 2022. And prior to that, for now let me work it out because I keep getting into trouble for saying the wrong number. Between 2007 and 2020, December of 2021, I cared for my darling mum, who I had living with me. To start with, she was living with me and my daughter. And then my daughter moved out. And yeah. And so my mum lived with me because she was at a stage where she really couldn't live on her own anymore. And I thought we would never last under the same roof for more than 2 weeks. But there you go. What's that? How many years is that? Someone work it out. Yes. So what happened then was, COVID hit, didn't it? And I didn't have to worry about going on because at that stage, like these days, you've got to be nearly in your grave before you get a pension. So at that stage, because I've been on a carer payment for so many years, I had lots of skills, let me tell you, but I didn't have any recent experience. Plus, I'm a bit long in the tooth. So, look, I'm going to say I'm a hustler because although I'm a newbie time-wise, I've learnt a lot. Yeah. So how did I learn so quickly? I have ADHD and officially diagnosed. I take medication. But my ADHD is fed by knowledge. It just sucks knowledge. And I find it very difficult sticking at something for too long if I'm not learning. And one of the things I love about eBay so much is that there's always some new thing to learn. And so it's just been great for me. So it just suck up as much information as I can. Let's see. What else? Janelle, so are you asking me why not to leave your husbands at home? Let me know if that's why. Is that's the why? Janelle says, no, I did answer that one. Adam, did you think of starting an OF? Oh, you're a funny fellow, aren't you? I know what an OF is. Yes, I do. I know what an OF is. Funny boy. Are you Vaya? Yes. So can I be rude and ask Vaya what age? I won't ask you exactly what age, but hi, Matilda. I'm here. Where have you been? Because this is your fault that I'm here. Let me tell you, young lady. So Vaya, what age range are you in? I was 35 when I was diagnosed. Best thing I ever did in my entire life. It's fantastic. Yes, why not leave hubby at home? Because, is he at home? Let me tell you, my husband was so wonderful. He would encourage me to go on my little girly sewing weekends away. I would go here and I would go there and I'd hither over the hills to go to wonderful patchwork and quilting weekends all over the place. Yes, he was quite wonderful at encouraging me to go. And I used to spruik to my friends, isn't that lovely? Greg he looks after the 3 littlies at home and, sends me off. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Indeed. He was not in my bed on his own. Let me tell you. So yes, there you go. That's what happens. Okay, let's go back to the chat. True story, true story, true story. Yes. And, you know, same old thing. Everybody in town knew about it except me. Ah, yes. Ah, I know, sorry. Yes, so you should be, young lady. I have inattentive ADD. Yes, really, Jody. Surprise, surprise. Born in the early 80s. Okay, yep, okay. It will change your life, Vale. Let me tell you, change your life. Whatever you have to do it, do it. That's all I can see. I took my parents to my appointment because then I thought, well, then the doctor won't think that I'm trying to find the drugs, you know. I can see where this is going. Kids' homework and bed late. Oh, no, Gigi, yes. Whoops. Yeah, indeed. Doing some patchwork of his own, indeed. And, you know, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, there's a few other words I've used to describe him back then. So, yeah. But that was a long time ago. But it's still a funny story when, you know, something like that comes up. Like, I can laugh about it now. I didn't laugh about it very much then. Sorry to hear that. Sending hugs. Oh, you don't need to send hugs. Well rid of the man. Pity his current wife. Oh, dear. My hubby works in the shop with me. Oh, there you go. How nice is that? How do you go? With each other all day. Does it work out well? Presumably they never found the bodies. No. Do you know, look, here's another funny story for you. So when you're going through a divorce like that and someone's done the dirty on you, yeah, you tend to go through a bit of a bitter phase, you know, and you just would really like to do nasty. You do, Christian, you do. Come visit, let me know. Make sure you let me know if you're going to come to Donald. So yeah, you go through this bit of a bitter stage and you think of the most terrible things that you would like to do to this other person. And I would think of these things. And yeah, I have a friend that lives up around the corner and she was going through a divorce at the same time and her husband also did the dirty on her. There was a bit of a what's the word? Yeah, there's a bit of a thing happening around that time. There were loads of men doing the dirty on their wives. No, not really. Yeah, but she did the thing. She put sugar in her ex's petrol tank. She actually he was then got with another woman, and she actually crawled under the house in the crawl space so she could overhear what they were talking about. Of his girlfriend's house. She crawled in the crawl space of his girlfriend's house to listen. So that was a ripper. The worst one I thought of doing, so my ex was building a new garage and the frame went up. The nice, you know, metal shed frame was up. And I thought to myself, he was away for the weekend. And I thought to myself, I should go and buy some prawns and stick them around in different spots in the frame. And then they'll put the roof on and the walls on and they won't be able to find where the smell's coming from. See, that's what I was going to do. No, that's what I thought. That was the worst thing I thought of doing, but I didn't do it. I'm not that sort of person. It's one thing to think about things, but it's another thing to do things like that. I wouldn't do it. Because, you know, look, apart from anything else, he gave me 3 beautiful children, so I have to be forever grateful for that. Yeah, most of the time, unless they're giving me grief. But they've all moved out of home now, you know. They do grow up and move out eventually. But exactly, Matilda. That is my saying. My little motto is, and I often sign things like that, the best revenge is to live a good life, which is basically the same thing. Yep. So there you go. Well, I could have perhaps used prawn paste or something. That might have lasted a bit longer. Don't know. Anyway, don't need to worry about that now anymore because, yeah. Yes, kicked the men out and, yeah. Kicked him out, I did. Yeah. So, well, now I've lost track. Was there another story I was going to tell you when I went along with that little story? Half an octopus arm. Yes. Well, I know where I can find an octopus arm. I think my son will be living with me until he's 50. Oh, look. Yes. I thought my daughter would be living here until she was 50. But no, she's not. Eventually. You're obviously making life too easy for him, I think. Aussie nurse slipper. Yes. So can go on more date nights, yes. Hey, do you reckon they're going on the date night because they want to have another baby? Been thinking about that. My daughter is nearly 23, and I'm happy for her to stay a bit longer. Oh, don't let her stay too much longer. Once, a couple more years, and that should be about it, because once they get to 25, they're a bit settled in their little thing. It's a bit hard to get them out. And I know that from experience, let me tell you. Look. Honestly, when I was growing up, I was a daddy's girl. My dad and I had a very special relationship. And my dad was a wonderful person, and I loved him to death. I love my mum to death too, but my mum had a slightly different personality, and we would clash sometimes. So I never thought I always thought that if I was going to care for a parent, it would have been my dad. And yeah, the mongrel died on me first. Left me to look after mum. And made a rod for my back because he bloody spoilt that woman, because he did all the cooking and he did all the washing. He did everything for her, had her up on a pedestal and looked after her. And so, yeah, she was pretty hopeless once. And, yeah, look, I have to say, my parents were each other's soulmates. Go away, Siri. I'm not talking to you. My parents were each other's soulmates, and my mum was so heartbroken after my dad died. Unfortunately, she should have died of a broken heart, but, her body was so healthy that she just kept living. And so, yeah, she did get to a point, though, where she couldn't, because of falls and stuff, she couldn't be home on her own. So she came to live with me. But, yeah. Oh, because someone wanted to know what I did. So, yeah. So prior to that, I'd had different jobs over the years. I've worked in pub kitchens. I worked in a bar. Thanks, Vaya. Good luck with all your getting diagnosed. But I think we've talked about that before. When my kids are old enough, I'm moving out. Yeah, that's the way. Go to Bali. Yes. Yeah. Where was I going with that story? Come on, it is getting late and I'm losing track of my train of thought now. Do tell me. I shouldn't have looked at Vaya's message, her saying good night, and I had to answer her because now I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, my mum was a bit of a devil, actually. She would say she didn't want to go out. Like I would say, come on, we're going to go to the neighbours for previous careers. Thank you, Paul. So, yeah, she would say she wouldn't want to go out to the neighbours for a barbecue or something. Get her down there and I wouldn't be able to get her home. Like she just would party all night. But yeah, so before that I worked in insurance for a few years. I worked in a pharmacy for a few years. When I had kids, when I first had kids, you sound very tired, do I? I'm sorry if I sound tired. I was in a slipper. I'm not really tired. I have done a lot of talking today, so my voice may sound tired. Not really. When I first had kids, I love everything techie. you know, I've always been my dad and I were always we liked gadgets. We liked the latest gadgets. So, yeah, when sort of technology came along, I loved it. And I loved to find things. You could do things, even when the first computers came out, you could make little programs and they would do things faster than handwriting everything. I loved it. So when I first had kids, which my first son was born in 1992, and so I think he was 4, I'm going to say 1996 would have been when we got our very first computer. And by then, I was actually working a day a week for a local insurance company, and they upgraded all their computers. And so as the staff, we were able to buy one for $300. It didn't even have a CD drive. I had to put one of those in. And look, I think it had 8 megabyte of RAM. No, yeah, 8 megabyte of RAM or something. Oh, it looked terrible, it was. But it didn't have a CD drive, which was the one thing we needed to, do stuff on a home computer. And so I got one computer and a friend of mine bought another computer. But I wasn't in a position to be able to afford at that stage to pay someone to put the CD drive in. But my friend was a bit better off. So she paid, and she paid, I think the CD drive itself was $85, and it was, yeah, that's unreal, isn't it, Paul? And this, so it was $85 for the CD drive, and it was $104 in labour fees to get someone to fit it. I said, well, I'm not doing that. I'll put it in myself. Yeah. And that was the end of me, because once I started pulling computers to pieces and realising I could do things with them, mind you, doing that one CD drive took me, 3/4 of the day, because I had no idea what I was doing. And you couldn't just look stuff up on the internet then, because unless you had a computer. Well, we didn't have a computer, working one anyway. So yeah, then I started building computers, and I did that for quite a few years and fixing them. And I still have people contacting me on the weekends to fix their computers. And I say, oh no, I'm sorry now. I used to still say yes if I wasn't, before I started eBay, because I wasn't doing anything, and the bit of cash in hand's always a bit handy. But now that I do eBay, I say, no, I'm sorry, I'm too busy to do that. That's good. Besides which, my eyes are getting a little bit hard for that. I would need to have a magnifying glass. Has anybody done any work at all? Do tell. Are you all still there? Hello? Nothing's happening. Oh, there we go. I worked this morning. Good man, Rob. Nope. Oh. Thanks, Wendy. You've listed 4 things. Well done, Jody Grace. That's 4 more things than I've listed. Oh, Liz, well done. You've thought about work. That's good. That's good. Oh, thank you, Christian. Yes, I have had a bit of it. You broke your robot. Your roboto. Yes. Okay. Good on you, Toby. You love hearing about my life. Thank you, Christian. Are you doing the 30-10 thing tonight? I've kind of given up on that idea, Matilda, like 2 hours ago, I think. Did me about 10 minutes after I started. I mean, if you want me to start doing it again, I can start doing it again, or I can just keep telling you about my life, like, hey. Because I kind of feel like I did and ah about that. But, oh, look, yeah, the low offers are ridiculous, aren't they? I kind of feel like, because Octo and I will be doing the live Q&A shortly, because we've got to the 250 subs on the podcast channel. But I kind of feel like that's not going to be the place for Grumpy Granny to tell her life story. I think that'll be more like questions and answers about eBay, not about Granny's life. So I just figured, well, why not? Retro Ranger, what have you done? Paul's been comping stuff. Thank you, Matilda. About to do some photos. Good man. Photos are much easier to do while you listen to someone talk. Retro said, listed 8 video games and prepped a heap of DVDs ready for the morning. Officially knocked off. Well done, young man. Now all you need to do is get that skew happening. Oh, Rob, I had another reseller lowballing me. Oh, yeah, it's a pain in the butt, isn't it? Yeah. Books along with stuff. Not many things surprise me. Tonight, Gigi talking for 104 minutes non-stop. Yes. I think it's actually been longer than that because this is the second go at a stream. Because that wouldn't be adding in for the stream where I froze, which had gone for a while. Let's see. Have you done much traveling outside of Australia? Yes, I have been overseas 3 times. I've been to Tasmania. I've been to Rottnest Island. And I've been to the Whitsunday Islands. 3 times I've been overseas. How about that? Jody Grace, how did you meet Octo? Okay. So Octo will dispute this story, okay? But there was a bit of a thing going on. He started, giving me a bit of grief on the socials, like on Instagram and stuff, and in the chats. And yes, I'm having a donut day right now. Right now, first donut day, I'm going to say all year. Ooh, yeah, I am going to say that. It is overseas, Janelle. Technically, it's overseas. Technically. Yeah. Oh, see, I've lost my train of thought again. Highball them back. It's therapeutic, yeah. Do you know what, though? Seriously, I listened to other people that suggested it. They may have been in my mentorship group. So I've actually turned counter offers off when I send out offers because I do not want to have them counter me back. I send them my best offer. I do not. Yes, that's it. How did I meet Octo? Want to get their labels back. Oh, yeah. So he was giving me grief and, we were just doing a bit of bantering on all the socials. And then he asked me when he started the channel, could he interview me for his first, victim that he was going to do these interviews. So that was fine. But as it turns out, he wasn't just interviewing me. He was actually interviewing me for the job of the podcast. So he interviewed a couple of perspectives that he thought, and I got better views than, sorry, Figsy, I got more views than you did. And anyway, then a little while later, I, in retribution, said, I think it's high time that someone interviewed Octo. So how about I interview Octo for my channel? And so Octo then secretly came, on the quiet and messaged me and said, hey, how about instead of you interviewing me, how about we combine and do a podcast? And that's where it came from. So, yeah. So if you want to know, I haven't actually physically met Octo. And I can't tell you who he is because he's actually a real octopus. So if anyone asks you, he's a real octopus. Okay, good. Truly he is. Truly, really. Who now? Oh, was it Bea that was asking about what my faux pas was? I'll have to remember to tell her next time. So I don't know whether any of you guys picked up on when we were doing the the live stream before the very long podcast last week. When we had Mary from Wisconsin, or wherever she is over in America, on. And yeah, so she actually, for a moment, until they put her straight, she actually thought I actually did live in a nursing home. Isn't that sweet? I thought it was funny. Yep. So, yeah, Minnesota, that's it. Minnesota. Yep, that's it. Yeah, there's so many states over there. I get very confused. Oh, yeah. I don't know where I got Wisconsin from, though, because that starts with a W. I was thinking I got the first letter right, but I didn't, did I? No. But, yeah, she was a good stick. But, yeah, she actually really did think because she said, I think it was in the live stream or the podcast, one or the other. She said, it's so great. Yeah, it's so great that the nursing home lets you do this. Oh, dear. And, yeah, no, it must have been in the live stream because Uncle Wayno had to put her straight that I didn't actually live in a nursing home. So, yeah, that was quite good. So, obviously, I do the Grumpy Granny persona quite well, one might say. One might say. So, what are the careers? Yes. So, I was going to be, when I left school, I was accepted into law at Melbourne University, and I was also accepted to do librarianship. And yeah, I decided I'd take a gap year. I was a very studious kid at high school, and yeah, I decided to have a gap year, and yeah, then I refused to let my kids have a gap year because I thought they'd never go back. That was funny with Mary, yes. I've had the podcast going on my TV in the lounge room whenever people walk past. Almost all of them go, "What the hell are you watching?" Oh, do you blame them? Honestly, do you blame them? Yeah, it's the funniest thing. And when, look, so you would all be aware that I don't wear rollers in my hair all the time in my normal life. But yeah, a couple of times I've actually gone down the main street with my rollers in. Went to the bakery, and a couple of people sort of like, "What's going on?" And just, yeah, that was good. I tell them, I turn around and I tell them, I say, "Well, yeah, I actually do a podcast with an octopus." And the looks on their faces, it's absolute magic. My partner is just actually taking a breath. Oh, dear. I mean, I will very shortly because I have to go to the little girls' room because I've been laughing too much. And I might just need to go to the loo. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles. Very good. Yes, yes, yes. Look, I have to say my favourite piece of footage, recent footage from either the live stream or the podcast, was definitely my little tentacle slip up. Yes, I enjoyed that very much. I still laughed. I watched it again tonight, and it still made me laugh out loud. Hint on the faux pas, exactly. Yes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You're trying to explain it to people. I do a podcast with an octopus. Or I'm watching this podcast and it's a octopus and a grumpy granny, and they talk about reselling. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? You'd never guess. Fond memories of the 70s of all the ladies in rollers as a small kid. Those beehives needed a lot of prep. Yeah, they did. I didn't have one because I was only a kid then too, Matilda. My mum, my darling mum, so every Friday she would go and get her hair set, right? And go to the hairdressers and get her hair set. So, no, yeah, I am. I've finished one trick, which does mean that I do have to go to the little girls' room before I have another one, because otherwise I'll finish up peeing where I shouldn't. Oh, dear. Now you're making me laugh. Dear. So she would go to the hairdressers, and then as she got older, she couldn't manage to go to the hairdressers. So we would actually have the hairdresser come to her. So when she was living with me, the hairdresser used to come here and set her hair every Friday, and that's where my hair rollers come from. And before that, back in when I was a kid, she would. It was it was the trendy thing to do. Instead of actually getting your hair set, you would have a wig. Even though your hair underneath was quite good, it just meant that you didn't have to do your hair up if you were going out. So she would take the hair on the mannequin down to the hairdressers every week to get it all set and combed up. And then I was the worst looking wig ever. Like, you look at it in photos now and you can tell full well she's wearing a wig. But yeah, it was a done thing. Right. Oh, even my poor little phone's on low power. I'll have to my Apple Watch. So I'll have to go and pop it on charge. And I am the Jody John chatted about in your podcast. Tried to explain that to my neighbour. It started talking about an octopus and a granny. Then they hijacked a reseller called John. I love it. No, I will not be taking the mic with me to the loo. That is for certain. And I can't accidentally, leave it clipped on me because it's not clipped on me. Would you like to see my mic? It's pretty impressive looking. I'm sure some of you ladies will think it's pretty impressive looking. It's a bit phallic-y, isn't it? Boys and girls, you think? Pretty cool. I think anyway. Oh dear, that's funny. Yes, I am going to make sure that I mute. Yes, because there's only a door. There's a door and a tiny little bit of passage between where I'm sitting right now and the little girl's room. Good night, John Roberts. John has loo breaks too. Well, he does at that, yes, and that's what I need to do. So I will go and have a little loo break right now and put my watch on. So I do like to make sure that I have my watch charged all the time and wear it. Is that your prop for only? Yes, it is, Matilda. It is. Because I have a balance problem because of my back issues, and if I happen to go ass up, I can still ring someone on my watch if I haven't got my phone. So yeah, I do like to have that on. Whoops. So yeah. All right. I'm muting now, boys and girls. So have a little talk amongst yourselves, or actually perhaps do some work, please. I want you all to be listening right now. Well, I hope you're all behaving yourselves while I'm gone. Quick indication. How many houses? Oh, hours. How many house does everyone spend on eBay? For me, it's about 20 hours. Per day or per week, Matilda? Too true, per week. Yes, Matilda, but you have a different pricing strategy than a lot of sellers. You sell a lot more higher priced items, Matilda, don't you? Than a lot of us that are. Yeah. I wish in chat you could share photos. Oh, yes, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Possibly just as well. We can't. In some ways, I think. I do. So, here's a little lesson for you all. In the country where I'm from, and I don't know whether this is the same, where you guys are from, but when we have a drink of alcohol in our soft drink, we call it letting the can. And then you don't have to dirty a glass, you just throw the can out. So, but what you have to do, you have to remember to have a swig out of your can before you put the alcohol in, because otherwise you can't mix the alcohol through the drink. Yes, so you do have to have a swig, and then you get your little bit of alcohol, and you just do a little pour into the top of the can, like that. And I'm pretty good at doing a pour because I used to work in a bar in one of my previous lives. And then you do a bit of swilling, like so. And that mixes the alcohol through the can, and you keep doing this. And that mixes it through, and then there you go. That's letting the can. Yes. Oh, yes. Look, I love eBay. eBay is, fantastic. Christian, are you still with us, is what I want to know. Or have you gone off to bed? You haven't said good night, but I just wondered, are you still with us, Christian? Do tell me if you're still with us, because I have a question for you. Please do tell. I am long tail, says Matilda, but still everyday items, as I do sell clothing alterations, so I can sit on stock for a bit longer, but we'll take offers. Very good. Hi, Sandra. Enjoy, I'm at work and can't join you with a drink. Sure, having a cup of tea. Very good. Very good. I hope you don't have a dramatic night at work tonight. I hope that you have a workmate with you, and that they don't get rushed off to hospital. That would be very good. And hopefully your computer also does not get hacked. So, yes, have a good night. And Janelle says, I'm a little different than most. I have a retail shop, and a big part of my business strategy is selling on eBay and other marketplaces. So technically around 12 to 15 hours a day, and is my full-time job. Yeah, I think that's a great strategy, Janelle. And yeah, I know a few business people that sell things that I think would do very, very well. Kula tells me she is well. That is very good to hear, Sandra. Very good to hear. I know a few business people that have a business that they could increase their sales selling online, but they just don't seem to want to do it. So, yeah, I think that's I think some people still have that old-fashioned idea about eBay. They don't actually realize that it is stores within stores. They think it's just people selling their junk off from around home. They don't actually realize that it is possible to actually have a good full-time business and scale it. And I think that's the thing for me, because I began this after the government took the COVID money away from us, and I had to go on to job seeker payments, which were about half of what a carer payment was, which wasn't, carer pension's not huge money, but it's comfortable. And so it was going to be a bit hard for me to actually find a job, especially in a small country town, when I haven't had any recent work experience. And plus, because of my back, I have, I couldn't go and do cleaning, say. So yeah, I started flogging off stuff I had around home to help with the finances, and sort of fell down the rabbit hole because I discovered that there were great possibilities. Selling pre-loved clothing was where I started, and then I started doing the old "let's sell everything" category, and so I did that. Yep. Probably the category that the first category I decided not to sell in was ceramics, like antique plates and such, because I found out that I despised packaging them up to make sure that they were going to arrive safely at the other end. And it slowed me down so much because, I could package clothing or books up so quickly that I could see that I could scale that up, but I wasn't going to be able to do that with the breakables. So I stopped selling breakable stuff. We had 2 new staff that started with us last week. One cuts fabric for approximately 6 hours a day. Wow, for eBay and Etsy orders, and the other packs orders for about the same time for our other parts. Fantastic, Janelle. They told me today they never realised eBay was such a big thing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And look, I have, I'm going to say 4 big, I don't know, possibly 60, 80-litre tubs under my photo table over there, full of fat quarters and half meters of the fabrics that were left over from when I did have the patchwork in the local shop down here, that I was originally keeping for my own purposes, which, yeah, at some point I might list on eBay. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. Who was the first YouTuber you started following, Gigi? I'm going to say the very first reselling YouTuber that I found was Hairy Tornado, because when you search up eBay reseller, he's the one that comes up to the top. And yeah, then the very first Australian reseller I discovered was Diary of a Flipper, so good old Judder. And I started watching his first video and got halfway through. I thought, I can't watch this man. He's got such a potty mouth. He swears. Hey, Mammoth Collective. Anthony, I think. Anthony, is that right? Anthony, I believe, is your name. Yeah. So I decided I couldn't watch him because he had such a foul mouth. And yeah. Then I went back to him a little while later and decided that, yeah, I actually could watch him. And in the meantime, I'd found Mel. And because she did books, I was specifically at that stage looking for books, people that sold books online. And so I started following Mel, and then I found Jazz and Brad from 2 Aussie flippers and 2 Aussie thrifters. 2 Aussie thrifters. And just kept soaking up every bit of content that I could find. It was great. It was great. I think one of the things, though, that I thought early on, like probably after I've been doing it for about 6 months, when Welcome. Sort of items are you talking about? Where are we? Oh, I think I'm lost something. One of my staff told me she was having a clean out. She started making a pile to list when her hubby is away on a fishing trip. Ah, that's the way. Jody Grace, I found Mel during the first lockdown. Biggest one in the world in Melbourne. Yeah. Well, games, what sort of items are you talking about? Oh, I must have missed that. I don't mind swearing a bit in person, but I don't understand why people do it on videos. Oh, 100%. It does cost them views and subs. Like, if I hadn't have gotten to know Judder through other means, like on other people's live streams and from what other people were saying, and then had him actually help me out a couple of times, and was so great with that when I first started asking him some questions about genes, and then actually realised what a great person he was. Like, I sort of got around the swearing part, and now it's a bit of a, I'm always stirring him up about it now. But yeah, because I mean, I raised my kids to, there's a time and a place for that sort of stuff, and that wasn't supposed to be on, YouTube. Yeah, and Uncle Wayno, of course. Yeah, so it was all good fun, and I loved it. But I think I also, I think I was about, I'm going to say 6 to 8 months into my eBay journey, and there were things I still didn't quite understand, and I would ask the question, and they'd say, "Oh, I did a video on that. Watch this video." Or I found that when it came to things like international shipping, yes, people had made videos about it, but they kind of glossed over exactly how to do it. And there was that fear when I looked at how to do a policy, like when I looked at how to set up policies and stuff, and you don't know how to get in there, it's quite intimidating, quite scary. And that was probably one of my first biggest sort of instructional type videos that I made, and that one went really, really well. And then I thought, I'll make another instructional video, and then that one went really, really well, because originally I was just going to do some videos on my life in general as a reseller, and do the old thrifting videos and the what sold videos. But the tutorial videos went way better than the thrifting and the what sold videos. So and then people would ask me, that really worked. Would you be able to make us a video about that? And so I would go and make a video about that. And then the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And I guess because I wanted to make it easier for people so they didn't have to go through the stress that I had to go through to find out how to do things. And then I was finding out things like when I first heard about the listing quality report, I didn't know about it. And then as it turned out, when I did make a video about it, it was surprising the amount of people that are seasoned eBay resellers, but they didn't know about the listing quality report, or they did know about the listing quality report, but they didn't realize that you could keep scrolling to the right and find out all this additional information that they didn't know that was there. I watched Aussie Flipper. Then I found Chris Furlong, who has been amazing help. Yes, Chris has been great. He was one of my early finds as well, and he is an amazing person and is so very giving with his knowledge, and is just a really genuine giving person. He really is. And I am a member of his mentorship group, and as is Sandra, who is with us. And I can recommend being a member of that. And like, it's a very small amount to pay for what you get out of it, which is, he's very, very good. There are so many of them, like that. Yeah. And it's just, finding that right person that can give you that right information. But as I said, like, it's oftentimes they'll gloss over it. They say, oh, you go into your postage policies and you do this and do that. But no one actually shows you step by step how to do it. So that's That's kind of how I fell into doing the tutorials. Janelle said, I only sold new items for the last 10 to 15 years. However, I also loved op shopping. So now share that with hubby as well. Ah, yes, Matilda, I think you're right there. Every mum wants their sons to become an adult like Chris. I think you're quite right there. I quite agree with that. He is a lovely young man. What benefits did I get from the quality listing report? There's two things I get from that report. I get a goal to chase because it does tell you where you rank in that category, in your particular category that you're looking in. It tells you where you rank against all the other sellers that are selling in that category. And at the moment, I am chasing down to get into the top 10 of the jeans sellers in both men's and women's jeans. I've been in the top 10 of the women's category once, and I've just gone back up into the 20s now. I think I'm number 22 currently, and I'm number 43 in the men's jeans category, and I want to get down to the top 10, and then I'm going to go after that number 1. I'm going to beat Judder at selling jeans. That is my current little goal. So that's one thing I get out of it. But the biggest thing that when I first found out that if you scrolled right and there was all that extra stuff that you got to find out, like, you know, how many photos were in your listings compared to the top 10% and the bottom 10%, you know, like they're the things, and how many keywords and how important those keywords are, and how important it is that you, you know, do your titles correctly, and all the things that you put into your, I'd have to look it up. In the men's category, it's out of about, I'm going to say roughly 2,300 sellers. The women's category is a lot higher, so I think I'm ranked 22 out of about 10,000 sellers. I mean, there's a lot more women that go on there and sell their own clothes, I guess. So the amount of women selling jeans, say, and women's clothing is bigger than the men's market. So men's clothing's definitely hasn't got as many sellers in it, because you don't find a bloke unless they're a reseller. Blokes won't generally like flog off their used clothing to then go and buy more clothing. So conversion rate, exactly right. I think I'm 2.24% in men's jeans and 1.29 in women's jeans at the moment with my conversion rate. Yes, I like that little figure. It's nice, isn't it? But yeah, it's just, look, it's, I guess in a way that the listing quality report is a bit of a, they do talk about it being a bit of a vanity thing. And I guess, yeah, they're right. It is a bit of a vanity thing, but it's also a way of showing that you've made progress. Because if you go in there and you see that you are on average listing in your listings, you're doing 4 photos per listing and only using 2 keywords, whereas the top 10% of sellers are having at least 6 photos in their listings and are using 3.3 keywords, you know where you need to improve. So that's where you can use that to grow. And that's what I originally did. I was able to use that to see where I needed to improve. So I used that as a gauge for what areas I needed to improve in. I flog everybody off as far as the amount of photos because I have, wow, Paul, 4.1. That is fantastic. Still got a donut. Yep, I'm still tracking for yep. Well, it is after midnight, so I'm assuming I still have a donut as well. Yep, I didn't hear any ka-chings happening. So, yeah, I'll still be having one as well. Let me just check to make sure I had no little, no. I just thought while I was in the loo, maybe it went ka-ching, but no, it didn't. But yeah, That's amazing, Paul. That's great. Really good. Yes, Rob. Me too. It's the conversion. I rank number 2 in a category. Number 2. Fantastic. Matilda. What's the category? So I can chase you down. No, I won't do that. I won't do that. I'm really like, I just choose a category. And I just chase after it. So 17%. Rob. So tell me, Rob. So do you sell the same in the same category all the time? So are all your listings in the same category? So that's my first question. 5 sales, Jody. That's fantastic. You got 5 more than I did. That's amazing. 17%. Wow. I'm going to assume that you are probably selling in the same category so that you can get such a big conversion rate. Consistency. Yeah, it is all about consistency. I'm consistent every day. Like, I even schedule listings for Thursdays when I know that I can't list because I'm doing YouTube stuff. Yeah. So I'm a bit disappointed that I did because, the last couple I thought I was going to have a donut day yesterday and escaped by the skin of my teeth. I had 2 sales that, totaled up to a good amount, to nearly $200 last night. But donuts today. Ranked number 2 in fabric. That's amazing. Well done. Well done. Yeah. Wow. I'm impressed. I'm with royalty. 95% the same category. I do branch out on other categories depending on what I can get my hands on. Okay. Well done. Matilda, I was at 15% conversion, and before that was oblivious to the fact. So it helps direct you towards that category. Yeah. Oh, no, Anthony, an 8-day donut streak. Oh, God, I hope I don't have an 8-day donut streak. I used to spend lots on fabric. I would have bumped you up to 50%. Oh, yeah, well, the old saying goes, isn't it, that sewers use their fabric to insulate their homes. Yes. Got to have a collection of fabric. Janelle, do you sell the Sarah? It's always under. They put that little heart thingy where you can click on the heart to make it, do little things like that. They've put that in the wrong spot because it's right over the last line of text. Crap, I had a donut day today too. Oh no, Toby. Well, looks like they're going around then. I'll be interested to see how a few others go if they were having donut days as well. I'm at 6 out of 7 days donut streak. Wow. Luckily, they are no calorie donuts. Yes. I live near a shop called Juju's in Fairfield. Ladies used to call it the that's funny. That is funny. Yeah, donut days are a bit sad because I can't remember when I had my last one. So I will be very interested to look back and see when my last one was. For us, the secret sauce is consistency. Daily, scheduled listings at the same time, and images are all the same. Yes. More listings too. Yes. Agreed. I will say I actually built my scheduled listings up using my own little video system. I did a video on that. a few months ago, but then I used all my draft bank when I was away up at my daughter's babysitting my grandkids, and I haven't quite caught up again, and I really need to bust my ass and do that again because I was listing every day from my scheduled listings. And so then, I just tack them on the back end and increase every day. And I have some chicken chippies. And I don't like crinkle cut chips. I only like to have thins. Oh, you're in media. Okay. Don't draft bank. You don't need to. Oh, Toby. What? I do need to. Do a draft bank. Otherwise, I could go a week without listing. And that's not on. Yeah, and because, like, honestly, my sales were when I was consistently sending them live every day at 10 a.m. Yeah, I was getting the consistent sales. Was far more like the graph was far more level. Go a week without listing? No. Not gonna happen. I went 3 days without listing. That nearly killed me. I had a store with 10 listings, selling the same 10 items for years, never created new listings. Wow, how good. That would be great. Yeah, that'd be ideal. That would be ideal. But, that's a different type of, yeah, that's a different type of store, though, isn't it? Like, when you're selling pre-owned sort of clothing, because the trouble with a lot of the stuff in clothing, no two items of clothing are the same. Like, how often do you, when you go picking up secondhand clothing in op shop, apart from jeans, how often do you find the exact same pair? And even with jeans, when you do find the exact same pair of jeans, like there's going to be something different about them. One's going to have a bit of distressing. One's going to have some fading. Like they're never identical, and the measurements aren't going to be identical. So that's a different thing. I have a draft bank for days. I'm exhausted from work. Yeah, good idea. The store needs to have activity of some kind, so it's up to everyone to find that. Yeah. Oh, look, I quite agree. And even if you're in there and you're cleaning up your postage policies, for example, yeah, that's as good as doing listing on activity-wise. But my draft bank I was using for the days I couldn't be on the platform itself. So that does generally help me there. But yeah, yesterday it didn't help me. Yes, because the difference for me on a Thursday is because I'm on YouTube for so much of the day, I can't be on eBay and be on YouTube. I mean, I could tonight, but in generally speaking, when I'm doing the podcast and the live stream, I can't be on there and be, doing eBay at the same time. So being able to have those listings go live at 10 a.m. and then generally I would get on the platform later on in the afternoon. I know. Look, it's not about that. It's about, for me, I think, listing every day is, look, when you've got ADHD, routine's good. And having goals to achieve is good. And for me, it's good for my ADHD to list every day when I can, as much as I can. Editing, I do a lot of updating my old listings. Yeah, they do. And you have to do what works for you. And, I have no issues if people don't want to do I'm not saying that you have to list every day. I'm saying that's what I have to do. You know, I have to do that. And I know full well when you do have ADHD, it's very easy to find something else that you get sucked into. And I don't want to miss 3 days of listing and suddenly find myself, oh, I much prefer doing this than listing on eBay, and getting sucked into that because that's how my ADHD brain works. So, yeah, for me, because I love the process, and instead, so a lot of my time that I spend on the platform is often spent going through the different things. I get in there and I'll go in and click this button and click that button and, oh, what will this do? What will it do? I need to find out all that stuff, and if I can't work it out, then I'll have to, Google it or ask someone or, all that sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, absolutely you can, Paul. Absolutely. You're going to try, even, you decide that you're going to consolidate your books showing. Yeah, I started doing that on one shelf, and that turned into a bit of a disaster because then I finished up, pretty much demolishing the whole bookshelf. My mum has just gone to a nursing home, currently going through her house. She was a hoarder, going to have more listings than I'll know what to do with. Wow, Anthony. Big job if she was a hoarder. Yep. My daughter thought I was becoming a hoarder when I started eBay, and she would say to me, I'd go up to Mildura where she lives and go out to the op shops and fill the car up before I came home. And she would say, oh, Mum, you're going to, finish everything. But then when I stayed up there during the school holidays and looked after the grandkids, she actually saw how much I was selling and said, oh, okay, Mum, what can I do to help? Can I source jeans for you when you're not here? There you go. Jody says, I tried today to do a timer instead of saying how many listings and found that better for me as I lose track of time when I hyperfocus. Yeah, good idea, Jody. I think I quite agree with that. I think time for people like us is a great way of doing it, as opposed to you have to do X amount of listings. I think you're on the right track there. I think it works for our sort of brains. Toby says, or you can edit your robot and accidentally delete your whole spreadsheet like I did and not list as much as you wanted to tonight. Oh, Toby, you didn't. Did you retrieve it? I hope you retrieved it. Yes, tell us what type of things your mum hoarded that you're going to sell. Interesting. I procrastinate and get distracted at the drop of a hat. Ha ha ha. Yeah. That is a symptom of ADHD. I hate to say. I think that reselling attracts people with ADHD, and it is the perfect job for people with ADHD because there's always something new and something you can learn and something you can burrow into. And honestly, I have spent probably the last 3 months in particular learning about denim and jeans and all the different things to do with it. And yeah, I know so much. And if I decided that I was sick of doing that, I know that there's another category I could go learn about and stop selling jeans and start selling something else and learn all about those. So, yeah, but I don't think I'll get sick of jeans. You know what? The thing I love about jeans, because I do have a smattering of OCD as well with my ADHD. Jeans are great though because they don't have to be perfect. If there's got some distressing on them, it's even better often. So Jody says, my mum has the same issue and she used to sell on eBay. She has heaps of cups and saucers. Yeah, the old CSP, cup, saucer and plate set. Do you know the trouble with those is, though, I used to collect those, and I have a whole heap in the bottom of my china cabinet, but the trouble with those is that people no longer want anything that's got any gold or silver trim because they know they can't put it in the dishwasher, and nobody wants to hand wash anything anymore. Anthony says, anything you can think of, clothing, crystal, DVDs, 4 or 5 of the same one. Well, that makes it easy for you. Books, furniture, dolls, shoes, handbags. Oh, wow. I'll also clarify what means by hacks don't work as well as listing is when some people think that doing sell similar. Yep. I agree, Matilda. I think the sell similar can work if you are updating the listing when you are selling similar, because there's a reason it didn't sell prior. And I know a lot of mine that I was wanting to sell similar before my platforms died on me. Or the sell similar part of it has, is because there were perhaps some of the clothing that I listed before I got my photography down pat, and say the colouring in the photo mightn't have been very good or didn't show the item to its best advantage. And so they need new photos. So I often will put new photos in, even if it's just the first main photo. And yeah, make sure that all the item specifics are right. You know, I know in some of my early listings, if I didn't know what that item specific was, I would put XX in there, or I'd put none or something like that. Well, I now know that's the wrong thing to do. So I fix all those things when I do my similars. I thought maybe advertising for the longest morning tea. She was diagnosed with cancer. Oh, yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. And has a long battle ahead. I thought I would help her declutter and have money now. Yep. Yeah, that's a toughie. Yeah. That is a toughie, Jody. Yep. Anthony's DVDs could be sold in bundles. Books, well, we would all come and get them. Yes. Oh, dolls. I love dolls. I've got the biggest pile of dolls in my living room at the moment. So I actually love selling dolls, and I love selling baby dolls, and I love selling vintage dolls. And you get really good money for them if they're the right ones. And so I've actually been collecting them. And yeah, I'm going to start listing them shortly for Q4. Not just because it's Q4, but there'll be certain things in my store that will possibly start slowing down a little bit, like the jeans sales. I don't know how they will go, because I certainly wasn't heavy into jeans this time last year as I am this year. And so I've got that sort of the figurines and the dolls are my backup plan. I think it's like that old pickup line. Do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk past again? Where your item doesn't sell because of bad luck and then gets buried. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's really hard because to start with, you think you should be getting extra money for that item. It's yours. You did it. You listed it. And you think it's better than what it is. And then, yeah, but it's not at all. And so you think you should get top dollar, but it's probably not worth top dollar. Yeah. Does anyone here sell jeans or denim skirts? Maybe anything denim? What do you think of the lowball epidemic going around? Not much, Wow Games. Not much at all. Yeah, I've changed a couple of my strategies with that. So Night, Wendy. Thank you. Thank you for being with me for the night. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm going to last till 2 o'clock just quietly, boys and girls, but I reckon I'll give it a crack for another half an hour. Sold a couple of jeans. Yeah, okay. I sell a bit of denim, thought of niching down, but they are heavy. Yeah, they are. They are heavy. So will I tell this story or won't I? Just between you and me and the brick wall, denim skirts have been flying out of my store. I can't keep up with them. Okay. And, spring weather coming up, and obviously some people like to wear. Good time to try a coffee, Gigi. Might keep you up till 2. No, I don't drink coffee. Don't like coffee. No. Yeah, no, not happening. Yeah, and I was having a bit of trouble getting more. And a couple of times I have gone past a certain brand of denim skirt in an op shop that fits. No, not in men's sizes, in all sorts of sizes. A certain brand of denim skirt in the op shops that is very plentiful. May or may not start with an A and end with an O. And in every way, it would fit my metric, apart from the fact of the brand. So it would be the right style, the right colour, have the right fading and or distressing. Yeah, Pepsi Max for me, Jody. I'm not, close along with you there, but yeah, I'm not trying a coffee. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life, and I don't intend to. Can't even stand the smell of it. Yeah. And I would look at these skirts and think to myself, those skirts are so good, but nobody's going to buy them because of the brand. And then I decided that I would do a little experiment. Next time I saw those skirts in the right style and of that particular brand, so I picked up a couple and I brought them home, and I may have sliced the brand tag off them and listed them as I would have listed a garment that I picked up that I thought was good quality and didn't have a brand on it, which does happen, especially when you're buying vintage. I mean, I certainly didn't advertise these as vintage because they obviously weren't. And yeah, they both sold within a week for the same amount of money that I was selling branded denim skirts for. So there you go. So my next little experiment will be, because I kept coming also across, because their denim products are actually quite good. Their denim's not too shabby at all. And I kept coming across their flares early on. I think, I found a pair of flares, but then they'd be Anko flares. And I would leave them behind. So now I need to find some more Anko flares or wide leg jeans. And I'm going to try that with the Anko. With dolls, anything good is not made in China. Vintage dolls are mainly from England, Hong Kong, from what I've learnt. Not necessarily, Jody. Netta dolls, Netta dolls that were made actually in Australia are good sellers. But they're not China dolls. They're baby dolls. Sandra says, I've been playing the offer game with someone over the last few days. Free post, bread cooking book, offered $14, then $50. Oh, yeah. Do you know, that... Yeah. Do you know what? The last time that happened to me, I actually declined the offer because my minimum is 17. It was on jeans, not a book though, and my minimum on jeans is $17, and I rather than go back and forward, I just no. Hubby is the same with coffee, but I almost live on it. Drink coffee more than water or anything else. Yeah, I drink more Pepsi than I do water, more Pepsi Max. I have a bit of an addiction to that. Yes, I am sneaky, Sandra, but it worked. Jody Grace, why are flares popular? I don't know. People like to wear them. They're comfy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, probably, they like to be inspired by people of my age that wore them back in the day. Ah, yes, those good old flares. Those lowball customers raise red flags. Oh, yeah. So I had one person that wanted a particular pair of Billabong jeans. They are vintage. They have a beautiful fade to them, and they have a very light bit of distressing in all the right spots. They're a really nice pair of jeans. Now, if the fade wasn't as good as what it is, and if the distressing wasn't as good as what it is, I would accept a lower offer. But these are a really nice pair of jeans, and they're vintage, and they're just, everything about them's great. They offered me $10. $10. I mean, I didn't list them super high. I listed them for $29.95. They offered me $10. And I sent them back an offer. I came down a little bit, like my first offer. I came down, I think the first offer I sent them back was they offered me 10. I sent them back, I'm going to say maybe $26.95, something like that. And they, yeah, so then they came back at me with a second $10 offer. And I sent them back a second $26.95 offer, and they declined it because I didn't go down any further. Well, they didn't come up anymore either. I wasn't going to sell them for $10. And how about a bolo YouTube on dolls? Yeah, well, yeah, true. And that same person, after their offer sort of time expired, they waited, and then they tried to send me a week later the same offer again. Oh, no, sorry, I tell a lie. They sent me a $15 offer the second time. So they obviously wanted these jeans, but because they'd done that to me the week before, I wasn't taking their $15 offer either, because these jeans I'm going to sell them for around about the $24 mark. And they're so nice that I will hang on to them rather than sell them for $15. So, yeah. So so what I've done with the low ballers is I've decided on a cutoff. And so my cutoff is $17 plus post. So if I don't get that, it's not happening. Simple as that. My experience that many times I get a low baller very close to the price I want. Yes, exactly. And that's why I have made a firm thing, Matilda. Same thing. I was getting, so my cutoff was, I was saying my cutoff, my minimum I'm going to accept is $17, but I would get an offer for $15. And then you feel like you're forced to take that offer. But now I have said, no, I am not selling it if it's under $17. So there you go. Cindy Dolls, Dairy Mary, Quant dolls and Barbies, yes. The thumbnail can be of the scariest doll close up looking at the lens. Yes. So my best one was when I was in Mildura once. I found a Netta doll, baby doll, and it was an Indigenous doll. And I paid $3 for it, I think, and had no idea what I had, but it just looked so fugly, for want of a better word, that I thought I'd just bring her home. And she sat on my desk for a while, and then I thought, well, look, I best list her. And I looked it up and found out she was worth a bit of money. So I listed her, sold her for $99 plus post to America. So there you go. That was a good one. What do we got? I really wanted $40 for that $65 item, so I was only a few dollars away from my real price I wanted. Yeah. But you've got to, I think, yeah, I found a few, Jody. I've had 3 Netta dolls now. So I've sold 2, and I have another boy doll, which is, yeah, the model says that it's an Indigenous doll, but it's not an Australian Indigenous doll. I think it's an Asian Indigenous doll. But I've yet to find the exact one, so I'm not quite sure. I don't think it'll be worth as much as the darker skin one because it's got more of a mid-range thing. My sister fosters Aboriginal children, so she's always after dolls they can relate to. Yeah, true. You'd be surprised if you look, though, how many Netta dolls you will find in the op shops. Excuse me just a minute. I just have to go. Apparently, I have pulled the cord out of my heater, and it's getting a bit chilly in here. I need to go and plug it in. Oh. I knew it was going to be frosty tonight, but I was getting a bit chilly and thinking, why am I getting so cold? I used to go to a place called Windmill. They sold dolls they had on place. Oh, how nice. That's cute. Oh, yes, Sandra Beach. She does have a snappy ventriloquist doll. Yeah, that counts because that's a ripper. If anyone doesn't know, Snappy the ventriloquist doll is from the Goosebumps books. He is. And he's a pretty fugly doll. Yeah. I also had a good doll that I got from a private pick. Just like offers, how much percentage off would you say your cut-off limit? It's hard to say because, sometimes it's dependent on how much the item is worth. So the most I would usually send an offer out for is 30% off max. But it's got to have the wiggle room in the profit for me. And generally that'll be something I've had for a long time that I want to get rid of. Most times, look, if I've just listed something, like I listed a pair of jeans the other day that were wide-leg jeans. I only had them listed for about 5 minutes, and someone liked them, so I had to send them an offer. That was for 5% because I'd only just listed them. In general, I'd send a 10% maybe or a 15%, depending on how much wiggle room I've got. Yep. On offers. Yeah, $4. Yeah, that was an amazing find, Sandra. I listed my wife's childhood rigadoon and got $180. Wow, well done. That's unreal. Matilda, how are you going, Gigi? You getting tired? Yeah, I am. But that's okay. We've got 12 minutes until 1 o'clock, and I reckon 1 o'clock's going to be just about my bedtime. Because I can tell, because I'm starting to get a bit slouchy, that I'm actually getting more tired than anything else. And, yeah, because that, one of the things about when you have ADHD too is that it takes you longer when you do go to bed to wind down, because your brain works fast. Yeah, I hit approximately $200 for a rigadoon a while back. Wow, great stuff. Quickest sale ever, an Adelaide Crow's cushion. Yeah, that was good. That was last week, wasn't it? Or was that Tuesday? Yeah, that was Tuesday, wasn't it, I think? That happened. You got your cushion. So quick. Rickadoon goes, well, Joe, hasn't he picked up some? How many of those does he find? Like, honestly, I couldn't believe he's picked up another one. Couldn't believe he picked up another one of those dolls. Unreal. What I like, though, is if I'm selling a really high value vintage book, for example, an Ian Fleming first edition Dr. No, and I listed it for $250, and within a few minutes of listing it, got an offer for $50. Well, I'm not going to sell it for $50 for a start, but me getting an offer that quick on that book tells me you're not out of the ballpark. You're that's going to be a good book, and it's going to sell for a lot of money. And that was that night, and then by the next morning, I had an offer for $200 from New Zealand, I believe, and I accepted and took. And I probably, look, if I'd sat on it a bit longer, I actually could have. So our poll finished with 66%. Only 66% use a skew system. 38 votes. Wow. 34% of you are being very naughty and not using a skew system. Unreal. You've never seen one. Never seen what? Oh, the Rigadoon. No, Sandra, they're out of they were obviously came out sort of later for us and too late for our kids, because I hadn't seen one either until I saw Jada started getting them on. I had no idea what they were talking about. How can you find things? Yes, without a skew. How can you find things without a skew? My godfather. Childcraft, yes, they're very common. Childcraft books, if you can get them cheap enough, can be good. I have a set at the moment, and I bought them in a bundle with a whole heap of other books that, all up, there's probably 100 books, and that cost me $20 for the lot. They're my second set of Childcraft books, and I've been tossing up whether I would list the second set as a set, or whether I would do it as singles. Yeah, yet to be decided. I'll be awake all night wondering what the other 1% do. Now, I wish you hadn't have said that, Paul. Yes, what do the other 1% do? Too true. But yeah, look, if the Childcraft books, my first set have nearly all sold that I had, and I listed them for like $19.95 plus post, and that someone wants to pay me that good. If they don't, go away. And I'm happy to sit on them. They can be long tail books, Clickbait. Oh, yep. Write that down. Clickbait. What do the other? Yes, I think you're right. 34% no. And then what did the other 1% do? Yes, interesting. So I do want you to tell me, though, those of you that do go across and watch my new video that I've made, look, even if you don't watch the video, it would be really nice if you would actually have a look at the thumbnail and the title, because I had a bit of a go at a good clickbait title and thumbnail. So I've basically said, don't sell anything else on eBay until you watch this video, basically, is what my clickbait thing says. And, yeah. Hey, Boys and girls, did you know that if you don't set your returns up in your business policies, that you're not actually covered by the eBay seller protections? You only if you set your returns up as proper policies in your business policies are you covered. Fabrics have good SKUs. That's how I find fabrics. Yes, good. They don't know what SKU means. I have a SKU system and still lose stuff. Yeah, well, yeah, it happens, but yeah. I was pricing books the other day and looking up certain German history books and couldn't seem to find any with actual front cover photos, as the front cover has a certain symbol on it. Oh, yeah, funny about that. Yeah. I don't think it's that they don't allow it. Yeah, maybe they can't. The symbol itself is frowned upon, and I think that's the thing. I have sold books that have got Nazi written on the cover, and maybe might be a picture of a soldier with a symbol on his uniform, but because depending on the books, if they've got a big one of those symbols, I think that's frowned upon, so people don't do it. I had a book pulled by eBay the other day, and it was called. It got pulled because, basically, it was against their adult morality clause. The book was called How to Make Love Like a Porn Star, and yeah, it's not actually a dirty book; it's a biography. And they pulled it on me. So I have to work out how to relist it because it's worth a good amount of money. I have to work out how to relist it without using the book title, because the book title is what the book title is. Yes, Sandra Geach is very, very good, let me tell you, at moving things to make room for others. We know this. If you end up with two similar items, like a book in a soft cover and one is hardcover, then send the wrong one, you will soon make a SKU system. Hooroo. Yes, very true. Very true. Yes, offensive materials policy. Yes. Interesting change in conversation. Yeah. True. Look at all the topics that we have covered so far tonight. Look at all that. Oh, there's a nice one. See how nice and puffy it is? That'll make a good crunch. I bought an interesting book about a truckie. We'll have to read it first. I'll have to send you the cover. It's funny. Oh, okay. Keep on trucking. Yep. Well, apparently, well-worn shoes. You can't sell. Well, you can sell well-worn shoes on eBay. You just can't say that they're well-worn shoes. So I did have a chap. I did have a chappie contact me. They're probably the most well-worn shoes that I had, because generally the shoes I bought, they were pretty good nick. But these ones I picked up on the side of the road in a box with some other stuff for free. And so I'd listed the other shoes that I'd found in that box, And I only had this pair left. I thought, oh, what am I going to do with them? I'll bugger it. I'll list them. So I listed, and I honestly, I never gave it a thought. They were well worn. You could see the foot marks in the bottom. So I just listed it as a well-worn pair of shoes. Oh, okay. But how will that go, though? What worries me if I change the word, how does that go with when people search for it? But then they're probably not going to search for the entire thing. Anyway, well, yeah, I'll work that out. That's a good suggestion. Thank you, Toby. Yeah. So I listed this pair of shoes and I just put well-worn shoes because they were. And, yeah, they got pulled because that was encouraging the fetish people. So I got told. So I rang eBay because I was very new to this reselling thing. And, yeah, I asked them, well, this is a pair of well-worn shoes. So after they explained to me why they pulled them, because they were well-worn, I wasn't allowed to say they were well-worn. And I said to them, but they are well-worn. So what else do I say? I can't not say that they're well-worn, because if I do, then I'll get an INAD. Anyway. Yes, he had interesting books. Yeah. Okay. Sticker or a heart in the image over the word. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys, for those suggestions. I shall do that. Okay. All right. The subject is funny when there are plenty of Jackie Collins books on eBay. Okay. I listed a book on interpreting sex dreams. I thought it would sell. Gollywogs can't be listed, no. Foot fetish people. Oh, yeah. So I was going back to my foot fetish story, wasn't I? So I had a guy reach out to me after eventually I relisted these shoes as not well worn, but something else. And I had a guy contact me and he said, I really like these shoes, but I was just wondering, do you have any photos of you wearing them? Now, look, I kind of wished I'd had a smaller foot size because I would have played along for a bit, but I take a size 12 shoe and and these shoes were like a size 7, right? So I thought, oh, okay. So I said, no, I'm actually a reseller. No listings getting done. I said, I'm actually a reseller. So they're not my shoes. Like, they weren't my shoes. And then he said to me, well, would you be able to ask the lady that you bought them off, does she have any photos of her wearing jeans and those shoes? And yeah. I kind of told him where to go. Well, no, I didn't tell him where to go off. I blocked him at that point because, like, hello. Yeah. I thought that was diving enough into the foot fetish thing. I have a sign. I don't have a bucket list. I have a bucket list. I had to put yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Janelle, how come the Enid Blyton books sell at a high price? Jody, the Enid Blyton books sell at a high price, particularly over to America where the book itself is actually banned. I presume that you are talking about the 10 Little N books. So, yeah, the majority of those, the really high priced ones, they will sell to America for quite good money because the book is actually banned over there. So they can't sell it or buy it locally over there, but they want it, so they will get it from Australia. Silly. Oh, really? I didn't know there was a DVD about that book. People you come across. Yeah. Yeah, it's 10 little N's. They're not gollywogs. They're 10 little Niggers's. What, when everyone goes silly at 1 a.m.? Which I did say I was going to stop at 1, but I'll keep going for a bit longer. Let's just see how long Grumpy Granny can last. Encourage me to sell. If you encourage me to tell some more funny stories, maybe that might keep me awake a bit longer. Right? Well, would you like me to tell you the story about the one time I went on a blind date with kind of like was a blind date with someone that I met off what was back then the equivalent of Tinder today, like a dating app. Although they weren't apps, it was internet dating site. I could tell you that story. Okay. The weirdest thing I've sold. I'll show you. Because I just happen to have another one. And you'll like this. And I think it's quite appropriate for this time of the night. Oh, there goes my balance. This is a beanie. Do you like my beanie? So a friend of mine crochets these. So that is Willie. And then here's Wilma. You too can be the proud owner of a Willie or a Wilma beanie. So there you go. That's the weirdest thing I've sold. Keep telling funny stories. Love your stories. I want to know how you found out about your ex-husband. Oh, okay. I can tell you that story. Why does Octo hide his identity? Shy. Oh, he's painfully shy. Painfully shy. I sell gollywog dolls and only a couple of marketplaces will allow them, but it also has an information sheet on where the word gollywog comes from. It's not racist, yes. More like on a wanted list, Paul. It's a shtick. He has to build. Yeah. Well, we've given it away. I made a video about who the octopus is. I have. Yes, you can have them in any colour you'd like, Rob. I haven't got any of the other colours on me, but yeah. And she also makes them in stubby holders as well. Love to have a drink with you and your friend, yeah. He's revealed his identity. So he didn't reveal his identity. He's revealed his identity. How did she? I don't know. She's a mad granny like me. She just started making them, and yeah, was selling them in one of the local pubs actually for a while. I did once, Captain Upshot Nerd. I wore one of them. The very first live show I ever did with there was the 6 girls. I actually put one on. So there you go. Yes, Wilma. I saw a tutorial where someone was crocheting penis and poo items, and she said, "Yeah, it's weird. Go figure. Go figure." Okay, so how did I find out about my ex-husband? So the woman he was actually having a relationship with to Chris for a raffle. I don't think Chris would like to be raffling them for backpacks for kids somehow. If I knew about the beanies earlier, I could have said Ashton to book week with mine tomorrow. Anthony. That's terrible. Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, so the woman he my ex was having an affair with was a copper's wife. And at the time, my ex was also a barman. He used to work, had a full-time job, but for a bit of extra cash, he worked in a pub on Friday nights. Some Friday nights, it would be very, 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 very late when he would get home. And he'd say, oh, we were so busy. Other nights, he'd be home quite early. And so as it transpires, on the nights he was coming home very, 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 very late, was when her ex-husband, or her husband at the time, was on duty as the local policeman. So what she would do, they had a big sliding glass back door, and she would put a candle, if her husband was on duty, she would put a candle on the table inside the back door. Night, Janelle. Thank you very much for staying for a chat. And my ex would walk home from the pub and see if the candle was burning, and if it was burning, he would go in. And so at the school swimming sports, her husband always, because being a copper and he had a starter pistol, because he knew how to use a pistol, they would give him the starter pistol, and he would always, every year, he would start the kids' races. And he said something to me, and I didn't quite understand what he said. And it wasn't until I got home later on that afternoon, because, it's this kids' school sports, and, there's all this, and I'm thinking, what was that? Like, and then as the night went on and I thought about it, and I thought, he's making reference to the fact that him and her, like his wife and my husband, are up to no good. So I sat on it because I thought, no. And the next morning I said to him, it was a Saturday morning, and I said to him, I'm sending the kids over to mum and dad's, because my mum and dad used to live basically over the road. I'm sending the kids over to mum and dad's. Don't go anywhere because I want to talk to you. So I sent the kids away, and I rang my mum and said, because the kids would often wander over there and they'd just come back whenever. And I said to mum, you have to keep them until I let you know it's okay to come home. And so she did. And once they were out of the way, I turned around to him and I said, what the fuck is going on? I shouldn't have sworn, should I? What the F is going on between you and her? And he just, like, the poor dear, he was just so astonished that I confronted him that he just broke down in tears, the poor dear. And broke down in tears and admitted his lustful ways and thought that everything would be all hunky-dory. And I booted him out the door about an hour later. There were only two things that would have had me either leave or have him leave. And that was one of them. So there you go. That's the story. It was probably, I hope it wasn't Janelle that actually wanted to hear that story. Oh, look, it's all good now, Sandra. All good now. 6 listings and made a sale. Hey, see what happens when you list, Adam. See what happens when you list stuff. Good night. You coming back to watch Grumpy Granny do another live stream? I wonder how many people would be up for it. What do you think, boys and girls? Should Grumpy Granny do another live stream? Not anymore, is not. No, he left. He left not long after. Yeah. Yeah. The worst part about being in a small country town, when something like that happens, is if the other half stays in town like my other half did, and lives around the corner. Another 3 hours of non-stop talking, of course. Oh, good, eh? I'll definitely be back. You're so entertaining. Oh, thank you, Anthony. Yes, for sure. I wonder if he's one of the 19 people watching. Well, my ex would be in bed right now because, yeah, he's a get up early and go to bed early person. I don't get any listening done. Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? I'd have to rein it in a bit, wouldn't I? If it was a listening live stream, because I've been going. Oh, I must have been talking for like 4 hours because we would have been going for about half an hour before I froze, wouldn't we, Nellie? And I've been going for 3 hours and 24 minutes this time. So, and there's still 16 people there. I can't believe it. Cannot believe it. What time is it? Oh, James. It's 1:15 a.m. delirium time. And I'm still talking. And I still have 16 people in listening to me talk and I've talked non-stop for 4 hours. Seriously. They're meant to be doing 10 minutes of chat and 30 minutes of listening, and I have talked non-stop for 4 hours. Apparently they like it. Thank you, Sandra. Cooler probably wonders what she struck watching me keeping on chatting. I hope I have kept her amused though, as well. Yes, but John might get offended if we try and steal his nights. That's the biggest trouble. I could come back again. But yeah, it'll possibly have to be when the listing wait till kids go to school. Yeah. We can't steal the night off John. So yeah. We'll work something out. Cooler asked if you had a drink in between. So I've had one, probably one and about that much drinks in that 4 hours. So not much. I don't need a drink to talk. I just talk. I'll be back for another live. I've done a total of 4 drafts. Oh, it would be 2. What are you putting on it, Liz? Are you putting something on that little rash? Get some pawpaw ointment and put some pawpaw ointment on that little rash of yours. Make it go away. That would be the thing. And it is still more progress than Grumpy Granny's done tonight. And I'd say more progress than Sandra's done tonight. Yes. But I do think we should finish up, don't you? Seriously, thank you, Gigi. It's nice that John can now feel like he has a backup and not be stressed about keeping up. That's true. That's true. Because it would be a shame. Yeah, it kind of would be a shame for the momentum of the listing live stream to go because he wants to, make sweet love to his wife. Yep. Yes, Paul. Indeed. Keeping it up. Do it straight after Chris Furlong's live. I'll pop over. Yeah, well, that's a possibility, I guess, isn't it? I have a Ken-like doll with 3518 on his back. But don't what sort he is. Any ideas? Nope. Is it a modern looking doll or do you think it's vintage? Doctor gave me some steroid cream. Only meant to be put on twice a day. Yeah. Be sure. Okay. No, I'm going to zip my lip. I'm not a medical professional. I'm due my tea break, Smoko, and was enjoying this. So good night, Gigi. Good night, Sandra. I'll be gone by the time you get back because I think it is time that we shut this little mess down and a grumpy granny goes and get some sleep because, yeah, I have to get up and work tomorrow. Well, I will, won't I? Yeah. I will have my watch hours well and truly up, won't I? Yeah. Oh, that's fine, Matilda. I have loved it. Like I was a bit nervous, I will say, but it's been quite fun. I wished I had have done it in StreamYard though, so I could put the little bits of text across the thing instead of stupidly doing in this. But there you go. All right, boys and girls, thank you very much. And as I would say, I will see you on the next one. Whoop.